Hey guys, I'm right over on this side. Oh, why is it so small? Hold on. Hold on, what is going on? Give me a second, let me fix that resolution. What the hell? That does not happen usually. Wait, let me check. Has it worked out? Oh wow, that was so tiny. That has never happened before. Where is it? VTuber shoes. Okay, it's back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. Welcome back. Hi, I'm Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks. And you're currently back at the Deep Blue. Thank you for waiting so patiently outside and coming here on time. I'm sorry for the initial scuff. That one's like unintended. I don't know how that happened. But probably because I made some changes here and there. But other than that, welcome back. It's good to have you guys back here. New people, familiar faces, familiar names, all of that. Now let me see who's here first at the Deep Blue. I see that the first is... Who's the first? Wait, where is it? First is Ikeson. Wow, look at you, Ikeson. The first, how do you feel about that? It's been forever since you were the first. Followed up by Tyrandus. And I see, oh my god, it's so close to my face. Tyrandus and Kyle and Sven and who's our fifth? Ridgeway, congratulations to our top 5. Congratulations. I also see, of course, that Gyrosen is here. And Toad as well on YouTube side, and also Ceaseless, and Merc Works, welcome back, and Arthur McCain, welcome to the Deep Blue, and Zolty as well, Peter, our deadling, and Shu, of course, Shu, Kane, and Nivis, and Admiral Wolverine, and Carl, thank you for the 80 consecutive streak. That's crazy. 80 is 80 the highest that we have, and Nox, thank you for 45 consecutive streams. And I also, of course, see that... What else did I miss? Ghost of Mint is here, and Discount Chatter. And JC Goldman. Venny is here. Welcome back, Venny. And Keith as well. And Napa. What's up? Welcome back. And Nebula is here too. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. To do the introduction, all session recaps using radio station. Using my voice as a narrator vibes? I mean, how's that gonna look like? But thanks for drawing inspo from me somehow. That's crazy. How are you gonna replicate my voice? I don't even know how to replicate my own voice often, because I reckon that depending on the day and time of the day and the mood that I'm in and how tired I am, I reckon I sound different every once in a while. So even I feel like even I can't replicate my own voice. Like if I were to become a voice actor, I feel like I would have some decent trouble trying to, okay, so this is the voice that I did for this character. Wait, how do I get that back again? I feel like I would have a disastrous time. Although, honestly, voice acting does sound super fun, but I don't know. I think I'm just inconsistent with my general voice. Well, welcome back to the Deep Blue, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for coming over. Even though I wasn't here yesterday, but it's good to see you guys again. Every time I have a little break in between the Tuesday and the Thursday, for some reason it feels like multiple days that I haven't seen you guys, which is very weird. My idea of time relativity is quite weird. And Noira to VA? I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't mind, actually, if it's like a snippet that you need me to kind of help record. But like, I've been kind of busy and I haven't even been replying to people DMing me. So I don't know when I can do it. Narrating Noira? How about narrating a noir detective romance thriller? The only noir detective romance thriller that I know is Spider Noir. I don't think I have read or watched any particular noir films also. I mean, I used to watch like, you know, Breakfast at Tiffany's and stuff like that, and some more musical or almost Broadway, no, not Broadway, sorry, but like whatever you call breakfast activities, and like a few other stuff. Like, oh, I forgot what that was called. The one with Fred Astaire. Yeah, a few Fred Astaire stuff, but like I don't think I've ever watched anything noir. Is Pink Panther considered noir? Hi there, old man windbreaker. Perfect voice for noir narration? Really? You reckon? Noir narration. Narration. Oh my god, sometimes I confuse myself with how I pronounce things, I swear. Narrator, noir. Oh wait, I already read that. You know the answer to that question? Let's not go there this soon. Wait, what? What are you talking about? How was the event? It was good. Oh, it was so fun. So I went to, I'm not gonna mention like what event I went to because I feel like it can easily dox me, but it was so good. Basically, I went to a music event. It was so good. So good. And it's made me realize that I think I'm someone who always loves live music because it's a whole vibe, right? Like music festivals or like live shows and stuff like that. And it's been a while since I went to one. So going to one yesterday was really good, yeah. Hi there, bro, credible. Noira misses us? I mean, sure. If that's how you want to put it. Dresden Files. No, what's that? Roger Rabbit should probably count. I don't think I know much of Roger Rabbit. Wait, is Roger Rabbit the one with Jessica Rabbit? Is that Roger Rabbit? Or am I like just mistaking it for something totally different? Makes a calm, sultry, gravelly voice. Wait, does my voice sound gravelly? I don't even know. That's the thing. If it's your own voice, I don't think like you can kind of describe your own voice. It's like that one time I remember like someone in chat asked me, oh, how do you do your voice? Like when you talk, where does it come from? Like your head, is it a head voice? Is it a chest voice? And I'm like, bro, I don't fucking know. I just talk and this is how I talk. I don't know the technicalities behind my voice, unfortunately. Because I think that guy was asking me because he thought I was doing a voice, which is fair, I guess. I mean, sometimes when you watch VTubers, you might think that they're doing a voice, but unfortunately, I'm not that skillful. Old man Windbreaker, thank you for 80 consecutive streams. Thank you. 80, a long time coming in it. 80 streams. I'm the coming of a new age, stained we will stand. I'm the coming of a new age and I will never fall. Is this a song? I bear the questions of a new time, seen but never heard, or is this just you kind of being poetic about being a lurker? I've seen the comings of a new time, get ready, cause here it fucking comes, strapping young lad. You're a strapping young lad? The question of voice replication. Oh yeah, okay, now I know where you're going, Ceasus. Now I know. Jessica Rabbit is Roger Rabbit's girl. I don't know. I'm just a huge simp for Jessica Rabbit, but I don't think I've ever watched the show. But I think I've always known that Jessica Rabbit was like, you know, a character. It's like how Lola Rabbit was like hella hot. Jessica Rabbit was like the other hot fictional character way back when, right? The two hot ones. And also like the mayor's secretary from Powerpuff Girls. the hot ladies of way back when. One grande cappuccino, please. One grande cappuccino coming right up. Gotta go find a music event to go to. Listening to T-Pain hasn't been helping my case either. Yeah, go! Why don't you? I think if you have the means to, like the time and the resources to go to a live music event, I think you should. Okay, guys, let's get a show of hands. How many of you guys have actually gone to a concert or live music event? Or like, you know, just... basically, it's like an artist you know, and then you went to their live event. Hands up. We miss you too. Seeing a stream cancellation notice is heartbreaking. Ah, don't worry. I think I would like to think I'm decently consistent enough. So I try not to cancel or reschedule much, eh? A metal song from 1995. I see. Your voice sounds like it is a touch gravelly, as if you're speaking using your nose and chest at the same time. You talk from a low register, but use your nose. I can't make sense of that. And so when you talk calmly, it has a gravelly, sultry sound to it. Oh, thank you. I guess that's a compliment, question mark. But thank you. Unfortunately, I don't know how I speak, but I'm glad that whatever voice I speak in, it is that I speak and you guys like it. I like caption saying, do anime conventions concerts count? Okay, this is what counts. I think it counts if it is like specifically for one artist, so not like a music festival. Let's take music festivals out of the equation. Like one artist, like if you went to like a Bruno Mars concert, or like you went to, I don't know, Taylor Swift concert or something like that, you know, it's for one artist and it's live. An artist that you like. Have you done that? Never in my 24 years in my life. Why don't you? Music is live. I have. Still got about 10 more to go. I know you go often, Zach. I haven't been to a concert since I was a kid. I always kind of thought they were a little boring personally. Thank you, Napa. And Zurin, welcome back. Been to one once with some friends. Was pretty fun. I see. So, I brought 3D Sun to his first live music too. He always had this perception that, oh, what's the difference between like going to a live music event versus like just listening to it on your own with like headphones or something? There's literally no difference. And I'm like, there is a huge difference, bro. And I brought him to that event. And after that, he was like, okay, now I see what the difference is. It's very different because we all know how acoustics are a thing, right? So depending on where the venue is, acoustics matter a lot. And I think when you're watching something live, there's also like the energy and the vibes of other people as well. It's nice. It kind of helps. It's just an experience. Like, I think listening to music on your own with headphones, it's a different experience to watching it live with like other people around you, or like within a different setting and with a different kind of acoustic as well. Conversely, recorded music is a much more personal experience than the collective experience of a concert. Yeah, I think they're two different experiences. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think it depends on the song and people's preferences. But I do think they're two different experiences. Yeah. But also, for me recently, I've kind of made it my goal recently to kind of go to more... I've always said that I want to live for like novelty and core experiences, but I think I say that more than I do it. Because I think I tend to overthink stuff even though it's simple. So I made an interesting realization of myself recently, right? Because I realized that my way of emotionally regulating myself, or like kind of coping with whatever the fuck happens to me, one of the general reasons why I live relatively chill and stress-free, even though there's a lot of shit going on around me, I think it's because of the fact that I've kind of grown up in a way where... Wait, let me lower the music a tad. Just a smidge. I've kind of grown up in a way where I've always had to be emotionally independent, if that makes sense. Like, I had to always like... I can't just stay sad because that's gonna fuck me over. So I find ways to not be sad all the time. And that was basically how I grew up. So I grew up rather independently. And thus I realized, I think a few days ago, that I do certain things where I overcomplicate simple things, but I oversimplify complicated things. Can any of you guys relate to that? Because I think it's also coming from a place where if for some reason, if I realize that something is simple, it kind of... Is it an ego thing? I don't know if it is, but like I overcomplicate simple things that I end up procrastinating it because I'm like, oh, I'll probably get away with it. You know, like I've kind of lived my life getting away with so many things last minute and just winging things and successfully doing great regardless. Like I think I've kind of built this false confidence that, oh, this thing's simple, I can do it last minute, I'll be fine, I'm great at winging stuff, and thus I end up like overcomplicating simple things so I can procrastinate it, and then I simplify overcomplicated things because I think I'm the shit. But also, I do think there's a little bit of ego there somewhere, which is bad. I realize that. But I also think it's coming from a place where if I address the complications of it right now, it will stress me out. So I do that. You try to average everything in your life so you feel balanced. Yeah, kind of like that. So I do think to a certain extent, as much as I always say, oh, stay humble and shit like that, I do think there's like a certain ego, I guess, in that sort of sense, you know, where it's like, oh, I know my own capabilities, but really, in reality, you're using it as an excuse, you know? So it happens even with like trying out new things, or like, you know, when you've kind of stayed in the same comfort zone for like a while, and it gives me like a reason to procrastinate changing stuff up or shaking things up. For example, if I haven't been to a live music or a concert in like the past 3, 4, 5 years, then suddenly, like, let's say a friend be like, hey, want to go to a concert? The first thing that I would say is like, nah, I can't be fucked, or like, nah, I mean, it's probably not that great anyway. You know, I make up reasons that don't really make sense. Because I don't know, is it a way to cope? Is it a way to protect myself? Is it a way to not stress myself about something that I'm anxious about because I haven't done for a long time? You know, I don't know. But I have come to realize these sort of things. And yeah, going to live music was one of it. And recently I've made it my goal to kind of, I said this before, I should walk my talk more. You know how I mentioned before that overthinking is procrastination? That is true. Because recently I have been reminded by the fact that I remember back then when I was in Sydney, I wanted to watch Avicii was coming to town. You guys know Avicii, right? Avicii was coming to town. Avicii was like my favorite, still is my favorite like EDM artist. I love his EDM stuff, and he was the guy who got me into EDM back then. And I still feel like up till now nobody makes EDM like Avicii. But anyway, Avicii, huge favorite of mine. He came over to Sydney. And I think back then I was like, nah, I mean, I can't be fucked. Also, like, you know, it's fine. Like, you know, you're young and stupid and you think you live forever. So you're like, oh, yeah, no, he'll probably come again like some years later. I'll still have more chances. I'll still have more opportunities to kind of see him when he comes over to Sydney again. But lo and behold, a few years after, as we know, he passed away, which is crazy. And I just realized that. And recently, I think a few of my favorite artists, or a few artists that I listen to at least quite often, are coming to town. And I'm suddenly reminded of that incident where I procrastinated watching Avicii. And then he's no longer around, and I'm like, yeah, no, legit, like, since I thought, let's not have that happen again. So if you have the means and the resources and the time to kind of go check out someone you like, even if you don't really like them that much, but like you like them enough, then why not just check them out, right? So yeah, that's why I've been kind of doing that a bit more. I've been scouting for stuff to do like that for the past few days. Yeah, so live music and everything, because man, when I was young and stupid. Truly, when you're young, you think you live for forever. You think you have all the time in the world. I had this conversation with my friend earlier today too about like how stupid I was when I was younger. Let me check chat. Sorry, I was yapping. Chatto Mateo. I went to one on Sunday. Who did you watch, Zach? What would you call me if I have a Walkman headphones? Why, you're trying to feel special, Ikazin, for being old? I've watched a few theatre performances, but the only theatre I would show I would see for sure is one that would feature Al Pacino. I mean, I think Broadway and theater is something that I wish I experienced when I had more of a chance to as well. Back then, I think it's because I moved cities. Back then when I was in Australia, I had a lot of opportunities to see a lot of artists and experience a lot of experiences. But I took it for granted because I was young and stupid. You know? So you only realize it later, the privilege that you squander sometimes. Went to a multi-artist concert once. Perfume was second to last. Oh, Perfume! After the performance, half the audience left and didn't bother to watch the last time. Oh, damn. Honestly, I do prefer like single artist performances, like dedicated concerts rather than, you know, a compilation of concerts. The only time I would go to a music festival like that, I think, is for like EDM stuff, like party music. So I'm still catching up with chat. I might skim a few chats here. So short like that earlier, 2 different types of ego. Hi Jason. Osage, Osage, what's up? Hope your day is off to a good start. It is going pretty good. How's yours, Osage? Overthinking is procrastination. Can I just say I never thought of it like that? Yeah, at least that's what I think. For me, I think it's valid that overthinking is procrastination. Getting real is quite painful, but man, it's more painful to live a life filled with illusions and stopping you from making efforts. I mean, I'm telling this because you guys are young, right? I mean, you're honest, and he is older than all of yours after all. So, I'm loading some wisdom here. Like, think about it right now, right? You're only like this current age with this youth, with this current situation, this once, like. You know, life kind of happens linearly. Not life, sorry, but like time happens linearly. Whatever time you lose, you won't ever get back. And I think no matter what situation you're in, I think there's at least like something that's unique. Okay, maybe not always, but usually there's something unique that you can kind of feel from like your current present. And there's maybe something that, who knows, maybe later, a few years after, that something unique could be something that you regret not investing more into right now, perhaps. If an opportunity presents itself and you can follow it, go after it. Avicii was so good, man. Alan Walker, I didn't really listen to that much. I was just a huge fan of Avicii in general. But then again, I'm also the kind of person who, if I'm a fan of someone's music, then I'm a fan of their music full stop. Whether I'm a fan of the person is a different story usually. Hi there, T-Rex. And Brown Eyes, what's up? What's nice, gotta leave to work. Now that I got to leave work early. Oh, when did you leave work? Like a few hours prior? Or did you just get off work, Osage? Wagner's Array performed by my city's Philharmonic Orchestra. Orchestras are also something I've never been to. And hello, Halra. And I was thinking about how... I was talking with my friend, talking about orchestras, because he's like he's basically in the music industry somewhat. And he was like talking about, wait, you didn't go to the Distant Worlds orchestra that was in Singapore? I'm like, wait, what? When did that happen? I've been so out of the loop, you know? I've been so out of the loop with like these sort of events, because I think it's just because my general circle around me, they don't do these things. So if I want to know about these things, I have to be a bit more proactive, which is like the theme of getting older, right? Nobody is serving you stuff on a silver platter anymore. And plus, like, you're limited to whatever your social circle is talking about. So unless you're proactive about certain stuff, you're not going to get exposed to it much. So for me, that was like live music events. None of my friends go to these sort of things. And like certain hobbies as well, because like certain hobbies that I like, none of my friends actually like them. So one of them being like jazz music, live music and stuff like that, or like playing music or jamming with my bandmates. Like only certain friends like those stuff and not my general circle. So I've been out of the whole like live music thingamajig scene, if you may call it that, for like the longest time. And this friend of mine who's like my bandmate, he was like talking about Final Fantasy Orchestra, and I looked up the dates, and apparently they're having a special 25-year Final Fantasy X Distant Worlds Orchestra, and it's happening in Melbourne like this weekend, and the next one is like in December, and over at the west coast of the US, over in Missouri and in Texas. I know nothing about the US, I'm sorry. So I'm like, oh my god, a special 25-year Final Fantasy X Distant Worlds Orchestra. Wait, you guys know the Distant Worlds Orchestra, right? I've never been to a single orchestra at all. Now, the Distant Worlds Orchestra is also something that I've always procrastinated my whole life. I think back then when it was accessible for me, I also always procrastinated it because I'm like, yeah, no, I mean, how good could it be? You know, I just made like stupid ass reasons for myself that don't make sense because I was too comfortable gaming at home or something. So I was like, okay, if I wanted to watch it now, what do I have to do? And I check, like, if I want to watch it by the end of the year, that means I have to visit Missouri, which is like on the other side of the world. Missouri in winter. Yeah, but I considered it because a friend of mine is going to the US, and I was thinking, should I go to the US for like this orchestra? But nah, I think it's an unwise decision. Oh yeah, have you guys been to I don't know how many of you guys are fans of Final Fantasy, but like, have you guys been to a Distant Worlds concert? For you guys who don't know what a Distant Worlds concert is, it's basically like an orchestra performance of Final Fantasy music. They do like other music as well. There's also like music by Square Enix where it can be like Nier Automata, or like specifically like certain themes. Like this year, I think they have a few special Final Fantasy X themes. So they're playing like all the Final Fantasy X favorites, like Tuzan and Steki Dane. They even have like the original singer of Suteki Dane as part of the orchestra. Coming to convention? No conventions. I don't go to conventions anymore. You should go if you get the chance. Like classical and orchestral music absolutely sounds better if you ever get the chance. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna try doing next. Probably go to like an orchestral performance. I do have friends. My bandmates do know like some people within the industry in itself. So I think if I ask him, he should be able to like tell me what the the next nice orchestral performance I can visit is. Yeah. Normal departure time for my job is nominally 5:30 a.m. Damn, 5:30 a.m. Night shift, say. Orchestra performances can be quite expensive, and the cheapest seats you have to get really early. And some orchestras will sell cheap tickets to their rehearsals. Oh, I didn't know they'd sell tickets to their rehearsals. One, but also since... Yeah, I've never been. So I'll check it out. The one orchestral performance that I want to go to is Distant Worlds, or like game music. Like I was like thinking if Clay Obscure, like Expedition 33 started doing like an Asia tour, I would definitely want to check that out. Yeah. Gaming related music, try Miracle of Sound. I considered going to that concert when money and schedule set. How much is it? Never was interested. My sister was much more interested in Final Fantasy. Oh, obviously I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy X. And like my heart sunk when I found out that, wait, they're doing a Final Fantasy X themed Distant Worlds Orchestra. And they have it in Melbourne and in the US. But like I just missed the one that was like going past Asia. Because usually they have one like in Singapore. I could have visited just for that. But that was like in May. It's because I've been so out of the loop, I think. You know, like when you're just too distracted by regular life that you forget to look at the big picture. I think that's how it's been for me for like a while. That and also like I mentioned, like it's because of my current particular group of friends. I like hobbies and I like things that they don't particularly like, so somehow I just end up forgetting about it, you know, because I'm not exposed to it in a day-to-day, because it's a different story, right? For example, if you hang out with a group of, say, I don't know, people who like jazz music, for example, then usually jazz music stuff or jazz events will probably come up in conversation. But if you like jazz music and your friends don't, and like it's just not something that you have with normal conversation, you might just end up not being exposed to a lot of things unless you're proactive about it. That's why I say, guys, like being an adult really is also about like being proactive about the things that you want, and also having being proactive and being confident about it too. Like, you know, just own it. Fluxel! Model well this moving character. Yeah, I'm a VTuber. Welcome to the Deep Blue, Fluxel. Miracle of Sounds, Valhalla Calling. I don't know, I think for me, like, if it comes to game music, the only ones I would watch live would probably be, yeah, Final Fantasy and probably, Expedition 33. Poland was a year ago. But also, I'm someone who doesn't mind listening to, like, new music in general. Like, I think I would happily sit through like a classical music orchestra and I would be happy. It's just that I don't know of any of these. It's just hard to find the time to do every event that you want to do as you get older. Yeah, I mean, for me, the thing is like, it wasn't like a matter of time. It was just, I just didn't know that these things were happening. I think it was just, for some reason, in my circle and in my day-to-day, it's just so normalized to live a boring life, you know? And I think that that's generally more apparent as you grow older, depending on your circle, of course. But like, within the general circle of like adulthood and maybe your friends at the workplace, a boring life is so normal. Now, I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but like sometimes because you also subscribe to the conversations of that boring life, you forget that life can also be something else. Or there's also like a whole different world out there. So I've come to that realization, I think, for the past few weeks, that somehow along the way, it's not that I've lost my way, but I've just forgotten the other alternatives that I can have to my day-to-day. Who is your favorite character in what? Final Fantasy or what? Like some classical music recommendations so you can keep a lookout for the performances. Performers, perhaps. Performers, yeah. Maybe performers. I don't know. I honestly though, like I said, I could probably ask my friends. I am looking forward. The thing is, like, I like not very, but like within my circle, I like rather niche bands. For example, if you guys know FKJ, French Kiwi Juice, and Prep, and Moonchild, Wolfpack. I like a rather niche music compared to my other friends who mostly just listen to, you know, top 100s, which is okay. It's just that, yeah, it is what it is. That's how it is. Morte! Damn, you're just redeeming everything, my guy. How are you, Morte? Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water. Stopping about to get on my flight to Offkai. Have a good one! Have fun over at Offkai. I forgot that Offkai is happening. I forgot that all the VTubers are like, you know, the ones that are going are super excited and the ones that aren't going are super sad. For me, like, conventions are just like, okay. They're okay. Talked about wheel evolution. Some of my old friends once then straight up started scrolling Twitter. I mean, that's normal though, right? That's normal. Like if I think talk about with my normie friends, if I started talking about jazz, they wouldn't give a shit. Or like talking about like, you know, oh, Snarky Puppy, oh, they did like this cool ass cover, you know, they wouldn't give a shit. Or like, oh, do you know that the co-founder of Patreon, they have like this little channel on YouTube where they do like funk covers of popular songs. They wouldn't give a shit. Sounds like bands from Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have also come to a realization that when people ask me about what my favorite things are, usually like it takes me a while to kind of think about it, because I feel like I don't have like strong, I like certain things, but it's not like always on my mind. Does that make sense? Except if it's like Final Fantasy X, then like if someone asks me what my favorite game is, it's definitely Final Fantasy X. But like I think for a lot of other things in life, for example, someone jokingly asked what my favorite food is, and I'm like, well, but that depends. Like depends on my mood, you know. I don't particularly have ultimate favorites when it comes to a lot of things, such as music. I don't really have a favorite genre. I don't think so. I like certain kinds of music, but I don't have a favorite. Spring vacations I've taken the last few years have, despite the expenses, been worth the experience. Oh, that's good to hear. Your evening is pleasant as always, of course. I hope yours is great too, Morte. What are you up to? And hello, Stone Cold. May I recommend some music that I think deserve more attention? I don't know if this is the platform to do so though, because we're not doing like we're mostly yapping. But you may suggest it over on Discord. We do have like a dedicated channel for that, for people to share music. And some people have found new music via there. So drop it over on Discord if you'd like, hey? So you can share it with the other titlings. Belong on a company of VTubers? No, I do not. No, I'm indie. Hello, Kiki. I've stopped having favorite things. But is that normal? Like for example, like if someone asks you, oh, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite... Who's your favorite artist? Is that something that you guys can answer easily? And hello, Arcanist. Arcanist of the stars. I used to go to cons all the time, but I've gotten a little burnt out. I mean, the fun thing about cons is probably like checking out the booths and seeing what you can buy from artists. That's probably my favorite part of it. But like other than that, I'm not really sure. And like maybe hanging with friends. But other than that, I haven't really found particular fun in cons. I mean, they're fun to kind of visit, but it's not like something I crave for, you know? They're fun as like something to kind of jump into every once in a while. But also maybe I don't know what bigger cons are like out there. So maybe it's just the particular cons I've been to, they're okay. I have things I like, but I don't really attach anything to that deeply. Yeah! Just post my pop every blue moon. I mean, we always appreciate pet photos. You don't have to. You don't have to be active on Discord. I mean, but if you want to find the company of other titlings, it's on Discord at discord.gg/Noira. I've seen Phantom of the... Oh my god, Phantom of the Opera! Oh my god, you know what other stuff I want to watch live? I think I want to watch, like, you know how in Japan they have the musicals or theater versions of animes? What do you call them? Music... It's not musical. It's not Broadway. I don't know what they call it. Like, I watched somewhere the Haikyuu version of that. Of a theater version of Haikyuu, and it looked like very interesting. I think theater is definitely something that I should check out a little bit more, because it's something that I feel like I missed out on when I was in Australia, despite there being a lot of like theater and Broadway in Australia, a decent amount at least. I also find talking about music with others to be fairly difficult, because the industry is just so flooded with artists that everyone has a different journey hearing it all. Yeah, I'm lucky that I do have a group of friends, like one group of friends, my bandmates, who listen to similar stuff that I do, But sometimes they also listen to very technical stuff, and when they start talking about it, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like today, one of the guys, I was texting him, right? I was like raving to him about like this song, like some music, and he was like, oh my god, you need to listen to this thing. What was it even that he said? He said something like, yeah, this song, if you listen to it, it is done at a 7/6 beat or something like that. Like, but I don't hear, like, I don't know how the fuck they do it. And I'm like, that's hella technical, and I don't have any, I have zero idea about what the fuck you're talking about. But then again, he's also like a music theory nerd and also a sound engineer, so of course he likes these sort of things, but unfortunately I'm the wrong person to rave about that too. I think favorites is hard. It also depends on mood, right? That's why I think, like, I remember, you know, back in the days when, you know, Facebook, and on Facebook particularly, Facebook, on your profile, Facebook would usually ask for your favorites and what you like. And back then, when Facebook did matter, you would like curate that shit, right? I do wonder, like, how people were able to just put out their favorites so easily on Facebook. Atreyu is my favorite band. Brutal Legend is my favorite game. My favorite game is Final Fantasy X. My favorite band is, I don't know what my favorite band is. I have no idea. Live action? Yeah, live action is more like a show rather than theater performance, right? Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Let me look it up. I'm in a band. Well, not really. I call it a band, but it's not really a band. It's just like a group of friends who come together and do jam sessions every once in a while. We've performed like, well, half of us performed like once or twice together, but like I've stopped wanting to perform, so now we just jam. They still do performances every once in a while. They ask me to do vocals, but I can't be fucked. What's it called? Haiku Theater. Is it called theater? Or stage play, that's what it's called. Yeah, anime stage plays. I think that's like almost a Japan specific thing, because I don't think they really do that elsewhere. Sadly this week I'm busy. No worries, sis. Hopefully your week kind of frees up a little and slows down a little, and I hope you get to do whatever you've been rearing to do when it does slow down. Have a good one, Cecil. Thanks for dropping by despite that. What instrument do you play? I do vocals, but as of recently I have been playing the guitar. Not in the band. Well, sometimes I do, like, you know, casual, I don't know, progressions as required for the band, but the thing is, like, I can't sing and play the guitar at the same time. It fucks with my brain. So usually I do one or the other, and usually when we do a jam session, there's a friend that plays the guitar better than I do, so he does the guitar. Yeah, I am currently like trying to sneak in like electric guitar practice every day ever since I got the amp. So thanks, Jason, for getting me the amplifier. But I have been practicing the electric guitar every day. I want to try playing Neo Soul. So I think back then one of the reasons why I kind of lost interest in playing the guitar was because, like, what the fuck, it's just chords, that's fucking boring. Until I found out recently that playing guitar in a more freestyle sort of way, like Neo Soul sort of way, is an option. So I want to see if I can try that. So I've been practicing. Thankfully, I've circumvented the talking about music problem thanks to just listening to about everything. I mean, my friend, the thing is, you don't really talk about music with your friends, at least not my friends. I think the topic of music, unless it's with my bandmates, it rarely comes up, right? Like, in what sort of situation does music become part of the conversation in general? Except if, like, oh, a friend plays a game and we rave about clear obscure music, maybe in that sort of context. But just talking about music in general, I think is a rare thing nowadays, right? I keep doing the bad habit of trying to learn multiple songs at once. Ah, I see. So you like a little bit too much variation. Random question to the musicians here. Do y'all need to know music theory to get into or play an instrument? You do not. You do not. I have made music on FL Studio without knowing anything about music theory. I've also played instruments without knowing anything about music theory. I just go with whatever sounded right to me. It's a very sloppy way of learning music though. Like that's how I learned the keyboard / the piano on my own, because shit sounded right. So I could listen to a song and then I could kind of figure out on my own how to play it on the piano because it sounds right. So it's a very sloppy way to learn music, but like technically it does also mean that you don't need to know music theory to play instruments. Yeah. You just don't give up on the F chord. The F chord is okay. What's the worst is for me is like when it comes to guitar, I hate doing the B chord. Oh my god. B? Oh, B. I'd rather do a B minor than a B major. There's something about B just fucks my hands up, dude. It just cramps it up. Sea Fox Blues when I get better, maybe. When I get better. Guess we just discussed music when we and Morty does parodies. Parodies like the one you did way back when, Loons. My young Sea Fox? That's crazy. Why are you calling me young when I'm obviously older than everyone? Always. Always. I think music could be part of the conversation if everyone has similar tastes. My friends love and talk about... Oh, that's fair. Yeah. About K-pop. I just assumed that contributed because they know I love anime or video game OSTs. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I talk music definitely much more with my bandmates, but I think with my other friends, unless it's like a theme to something else, that's part of a, something part of the main conversation, I don't really talk about it. Or unless like we're in the car and we're stuck in traffic, or we have like a little road trip going on and a song plays and someone's like, oh, what's that song? Then we talk about it. Wait, sorry, I missed chat. Gymnopedie #1 by Sati for a while. I've started... Damn, you play classic stuff on the acoustic. I'm lagging on YouTube? There's no way I'm lagging on YouTube but not lagging on Twitch. Are we okay? Am I lagging? Or are we just okay? Refresh if I'm lagging. You play classical guitar? I've tried that route once. I gave up. Pizza, arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Nothing like an emergency management call for a new bug on our systems just when I'm trying to chill in the deep blue. What's wrong with Murphy today? Damn shit! New bug on your system. Suddenly you got sent a ticket, hey? Is it something you gotta triage immediately? Is it something you gotta handle immediately? Is it a red ticket? A red ticket. But thank you for your offering towards the shrine. My blessing to you, Peter, is that I hope that bug is easy to solve and it doesn't take forever to replicate. Or, if things get worse, you could just be like, unable to replicate, close the ticket. Failed to replicate the problem, thus closing ticket. That's always a go-to excuse, right? We'll curse that bug that it fixes itself. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? A bug that fixes itself. That's why it disappeared for an hour. Well, at least you're back. Is it fixed now? That sucks, though. That always sucks. When the tabs tell me to stretch my finger to moon, fifth fret, 2nd string whilst fingering the 1st fret and 6th string. Oh my god, nah, I hate that. I hate that a lot. Yeah, because I just recently returned to playing the guitar, my fingers have been dying. You know, like the tip of your fingers where you use to kind of travel the fretboard. It's been like so sore. It's not bleeding. I made sure to not play until it bleeds. I remember it bled back then when I played guitar for the first time, but yeah, it's painful. And because what I'm playing is I don't have an acoustic, well, technically I do have like an acoustic guitar, but like the strings are fucked. But because I'm playing the electric guitar and the strings are, I guess, narrower, thinner, it kind of hurts a bit. It hurts sharper, if that makes sense. The Callouses haven't come back yet. No, they haven't. Slowly. I gotta rebuild them. It's really been a long while since I last played the guitar. Tomorrow is production deployment anyway. Oh, it's gonna be a crazy day then, isn't it, Peter? Production deployment day. Gotta get the calluses going, yeah. Gods above and below give me strength and to endure. Yes, don't worry, you have my blessing already, Peter. You'll do fine. You'll do fine on deployment day. Although it's like every product manager's nightmare and it's what you prepare for, but I'm sure you'll do fine. You're heading to your local con. Okay, wait. You guys tell me, what do you guys do when you go to a con? What is it that you guys do? Because I think for the cons that I've gone to, I usually just find friends there or like hang out with friends that I've meant to meet up with there, and I go and hang around like the artist's alley and check out all the interesting merch. I usually spend most of my time there. Yeah. Drink at parties. I've never drank at a con before. Maybe that's why I haven't really been enjoying it. I've never been to, I've been to a single anime party and that was super fun. Yeah. I think I've told you guys a story about this, right? Where I was trying to stay low-key because obviously I'm a vtuber, but then my friends pushed me forward and be like, Noira, go join the karaoke battle. And I got nominated for the karaoke battle. And I'm like, bro, I was just trying to stay in the corner and be quiet because I'm a fucking VTuber. These friends did not know I'm a VTuber, by the way. They're fun days. Fun days. Hi, Valtteri. Walk around for 4 hours, buy nothing. Probably assault my friends while they do the same to me. Wow. Sounds like what? Peak bro bonding moments. Hotel parties and cosplay bar crawls. I mean, that sounds like something you can do normally without having to go to cons, no? I mean, it sounds like if you're traveling for a con, then it sounds like it's a substitute for traveling full stop. Like it's something you can do whilst just traveling. Socializing is better when you're drunk. Ah, yes, it is a social lubricant after all. I socialize at cons. I ask girls about their Oshis and then they begin to question their life choices. Socializing at cons. I don't know. I don't think I particularly socialize at cons. With my friends, they usually introduce me with other friends. Maybe that's mostly what happens. But also, I feel like nowadays I don't really have that many weeb friends, if that makes sense. Plus, like me, myself, I feel like I'm not as weeby as I used to be. You know, I feel like I'm more of a casual pleb tourist in otaku culture nowadays. Back then, I used to be much more... You know, I watch anime after work. That means, like, I have so much anime that I haven't watched. I play games, but, like, I play games when I stream. So, I just don't dedicate as much of my life's time to the otaku culture anymore, I guess. Hi there, VTuber Premium. Handsome? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Never been to a con. It seems overwhelming. I mean, you'll never know until you try. Never know until you try. I guess on a... I was seeing Product Development Friday. Wait, did you not ask for a leave? Oh, that's the worst. I've gone through something similar, Peter, so I can relate. I can relate to that. It wasn't on production day though, but it was like the day before production, so I can relate to that. They say he'll change? Ah, nah, wait. They're Oshi? I mean, why do they want their Oshi, VTuber. Right, okay. I was like, if it's a fictional man, why do they want a fictional man to change? But then I remember that, oh wait, Oshi, VTuber, oh, actual real people. Right. I cosplay at cons, attend VTuber meet and greets with well socialized with people in line. Buy much, still waiting for a Noira meet and greet. One day, maybe. One day. Right, Tidlings? If the Deep Blue keeps going, maybe one day we'll have a meet and greet. I remember I talked to manager-san once and I was like, I don't know what the point of VTuber meet and greets is. Like, I reckon if I have a meet and greet, nobody's gonna attend it anyway. Like, so I don't know if I'm given the opportunity to do a meet and greet, I don't know if I take it. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it, but I don't know, maybe change my mind. No one's gonna come to a meet and greet. They're not gonna pay like what, 15 to 30 bucks to have a chance to talk to me. You can do that on stream, or is it different? I don't know. I've never experienced a meet and greet, so I guess I can't really say much about it. Some says it's just Noira and you guys keeping you sane. No. The one keeping you sane is your childling. That childling is the one keeping you sane. Hello, dissociative. I seconded Noira in a meet and greet. Okay, then at least we have 2 people who are gonna come to a meet and greet. Meet and greet but on which continent? That's a good thing about VTubers, right? You can be on any continent. Then it's just a matter of how early you have to wake up. It's meet and greet unless you use... What do you even talk about at a meet and greet? Like yesterday, the event that I went to, they had a meet and greet with the artist. The thing is, like, I like this artist for their music, and I'm like, what do I even say to the person? So I told him, oh my god, your music is so good, and come back again. I said, thank you for coming here, come back again so I can watch you again. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do when it comes to meet and greets. I don't know what I'm supposed to say, you know? I'd stop by a booth if I could. I think if anything, I want like one day, if it's possible, to have like a booth to sell merch that I want to sell. That'd be nice. Like sea salt ice cream. I would love to sell sea salt ice cream. I see a few people did meet and greet while selling merch. I guess which ocean? Which ocean? Will the meet and greet be in Hong Kong? I don't know. It depends on who decides to offer. Like, hey, Noira the Sea Fox, do you want to do a meet and greet over at our event? It depends on who asks, right? And it also depends on whether I want to wake up for it or not. If it's USA, half of us will need a ton of money for plane tickets. If it's Europe, the other half will... Yeah, unfortunately, the Deep Blue is quite global. The titlings are kind of all over, hey? All over the world. From all over the different parts of the continents of the world. Meeting, greeting, no live talks on the rock season. Session. What, you want a one-on-one live talk with me? Why would you want that? You'll show up in not cult robes for the... Yeah, obviously, because we're not a cult, so there is no way you can walk up in cult robes and we're not a cult, because that's obviously not an option. And ironically, the Sunrose concert thing T-Pain did would be something I'd love to see you do. IRL Deep Blue tunes and real-time chatting would be fire. Oh, that would be great, hey? You know, another aspiration I had that I have considered before is I wanted to try DJing. Like, I reckon I have fire playlists, and I reckon I'm really good with making playlists. So that was one thing I considered. One day, maybe down the line, I shall learn DJing. You know what? Maybe I should. Maybe I will. Nothing's stopping me. If I have more time, perhaps I shall. It's, I mean... Making playlists is something I love doing, but it's something that I can't do anymore because it's so time consuming. Same thing why I stopped making like a lo-fi music in particular. I don't know if you guys know, but like I used to fuck around and make some lo-fi music. That's why on my YouTube channel there's like a lo-fi remix of Final Fantasy VIII's Balam Garden. I had a sound card and everything like that. But I was a noob. Like I said, I don't really do music theory, so I just do whatever sounds right to me. So I love making playlists. I like making music where possible. It's on top of everything else, it's just very time consuming. And it's one of those things that kind of just fades into obscurity because life demands you otherwise, you know? Wait, I missed some chat. It's meet, buy merch, get signature. Wait, so at meet and greets, people sell merch? You buy merch during meet and greets? Hello, G7, by the way, on YouTube side. First question would be, Noira, did you leader of Kotlings? What does that even mean? Meet and greet on the moon? Oh yeah, like Lucy. So what you gonna do? What's your point of view? There's a party soon. Do you wanna go? Meet and greets can be hit or miss. Depends how snooty the artist or her manager is. The moon just triggered my edge runner's PTSD. Oh yeah, obviously it did to me too. If I'm suffering from the song in my head, you guys have to suffer with me too. Cause I really wanna stay at your house. I hope this works out. DJ Noira at the tiling pub. Man, I reckon I could compile a mean dance list. I reckon I could. Yeah. If only I had so much time in the world, man. Seriously, don't you reckon like time-consuming hobbies are just so hard? As the older you get, time-consuming hobbies just become so much harder to maintain, and it just slowly fades into obscurity. That was like making music for me, and also making music, compiling playlists. Basketball is also another one of them, because I feel like basketball is a sport where if you don't practice a lot and if you don't play well, you're not going to enjoy it as much. You know, some activities are like that. Zariel, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome. Arasaka? Fuck Arasaka. Meet and greet and it's a bunch of cloaked people turning up at a rave. That's crazy. People are gonna start thinking you guys are like dementors or something. You can get ribbons, I know for sure, but I've never bought anything. DJ Noira and Backstreet Tidelings? Why Backstreet Tidelings in particular? Can you please do a karaoke on Stay at Your House? Sure. We haven't done a karaoke stream in forever, by the way. I haven't been able to do membership streams at all. Life's just been so busy, dude. I've been working a lot. Even though I said, I think yesterday, that my day has slowed down a tad. Well, it was only particularly that day. And today it has sped up again. So I have been quite busy for the past, I think, last at least 3 weeks. Yeah. I literally have to plan my weeks like 2 weeks ahead in order to do stuff over the weekends. Hai na sekali. Sekali pakai buang. That's so disposable. Pizza Subachata. Arigato. Thank you for your offering towards a shrine. Noira's meat and drink, sea salt whiskey, lo-fi blues, karaoke and robes. No robes! No robes! Everything else it sounds pretty good though. Can we talk about how Adam Smasher is a fraud? He picks on a dude half dead already and a little girl and thinks he's hot shit. Oh yeah, fuck Adam Smasher, man. Bro got demolished by Denya in the Woo Woo Call. Oh, I wouldn't know. I did not play the Woo Woo Call, but fuck Adam Smasher. But also, if you guys watch my playthrough of Cyberpunk, that was like, what, 2-3 years ago, you would see that I fucking snowballed Adam Smasher with my knife skills. I shanked the dude to death in like, what, 10 hits or so? So I don't worry. If you have like certain negative feelings towards Adam Smasher, I have delivered that with justice. Shanked what is basically a robot. Yeah, surprisingly, knifing robots is very effective in Cyberpunk. Despite not making like the most sense. But it's surprisingly effective. But try to make random sound with house genre. House genre is super fun too. Actually, one of the titlings here, one of the titlings contacted me and wanted to... they made some EDM tracks of certain songs, like EDM covers of certain songs, and wanted me to provide vocals for them and asked if I wanted to sing or like do a little collab for it. And I'm excited for it. I think one of them, I always say that one of the main reasons I love being a VTuber and one of the main reasons I want to be a VTuber is because I want to tackle creative projects as well. But unfortunately, these creative projects are limited by time constraints, obviously. But I want to like be able to do, if I want to cover a song, then I want to cover a song. If I want to cover a song in a certain way, like if I want to do a band version of a certain song, I want to be able to do that. And that's the cool thing about being a VTuber. You get to do all that technically. So if someone comes up to me and be like, yo, I made this song, do you like it? And if it's a vibe, I do want to be able to support it. Yeah. It's hilarious. You can kill Adam with a Adam Smasher with a toy. What toy? Oh, you mean that toy. The floppy, long, pink toy. Is that the toy you're talking about? Yeah. Hi there, Lochana. Ayochana? Lochana? Lochana, right? Generally not doing a lot. Man, talking about Cyberpunk, I really miss Cyberpunk. It's been forever. It's been... When was the last time we played Cyberpunk? 2 weeks ago? Sorry, I've been busy. And plus Palworld has been around. And now Final Fantasy X. Oh my god, I'm starting playthroughs that I don't even know if I can finish. But definitely, Final Fantasy X, that's gonna stay on for a tad while. Okay? And definitely also... Dot Hack! I want to return to Dot Hack as well. Definitely. Yeah. Hold on, let me resync my model a tad. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. Cyberpunk died to Palworld. Oh my god, I haven't logged into Palworld since like the last time we played it. Man. So many games I want to play, but I just have not been able to at all this week. It's just been so busy. And do you want to know, like this week I also fucked up a lot. So, I'm someone who really... I get my brain to work very well if I jot things down on paper, right? And for some reason, these past few weeks, because a lot of things have been going on, meaning like if I have like a big thought in my brain, I usually chuck it down into paper somewhere. But the caveat is the fact that I'm someone who lives in organized chaos, right? I'm messy. I'm very messy. So sometimes I'd be like, okay, I noticed that on my office desk, there's a piece of paper sitting on my office desk, and maybe and that's actually the piece of paper where I jotted all my notes. That's very important to a meeting. But then maybe 2 days after that, I'd be like, oh my god, my desk is so messy. And I just chuck every piece of paper that is on my desk without even checking it. And then a few days after, when I'm looking for those particular notes, I realize that, oh my fucking god, did I just throw it away? Like, what the fuck? This has happened like, I think twice now. Within the past 2 weeks. It's been so chaotic, dude. And because I'm learning from my mistakes, I have today decided to, for the past few days, I have vowed to myself to only make notes and unload my thoughts onto books or notepads, right? But then I did do that. I have one notepad and one book that I kind of jot down notes on. But then today I forgot to bring the notepad to the office, and then all my notes were there, and I needed it for like a meeting as well. So oh my god, the thing is like I know what the ideal solution is. The ideal solution is to jot all this down digitally, but I just don't vibe. I really prefer pen and paper over digital when it comes to like writing thoughts and like managing my to-do list and my tasks, and it sucks. Let's talk about it. Thank you for 20 months of being a tiling. Thank you. How are you, man? How are you? Can any of you guys relate? Do any of you guys like prefer one over the other? Like digital over... Can we call it analog? Can we call pen and paper analog? Over analog, or like analog over digital? Because I'm definitely like an analog sort of girl. You need to... I do have a whiteboard. I do have a whiteboard actually, but you know, you can't take whiteboards everywhere. So like, what if I'm looking for the notes when I'm at home or something like that? I don't know. It's just, I need to be more efficient with how I manage my brain. Doing good. That's good to hear. Let's talk about it. We're all in summer brain mode. We just want to have fun. Well, if you live in a tropical country, it's always summer. You have no excuses. Like the other day, I was watching this, what show was it? Like this rom-com? I can't remember. And it was about like a 40-year-old mom, single mom, who started dating like a 24-year-old boy band celebrity. Crazy premise, I know, like shit straight out of archive of our own fanfic shit. But anyway, this mom who was like 40 years old apparently sent her kid out to summer camp for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, what is this summer camp thing? Like your kids just go away for 2 weeks? Like, I don't know what... I've never subscribed to that sort of culture. I don't know of... We don't have that here. Let's just put it that way. We don't have that here. In a tropical country, what's summer camp? It's always summer. Sure, you have like the school holidays, but you don't call it like, oh, it's summer holidays or anything like that. It's just a holiday because it's the same fucking temperature and same tropical weather all around. The only difference is that, oh, maybe there's a high % chance of rain around the start of the year. And then maybe the rest of the year, not so much. That's it. It's monsoon season and just everyday weather. That's how it is living in a tropical country. I love writing. Got a dedicated notebook for my fountain pen. Oh, wait, you got a fountain pen. I don't have much to write down. What? Do you not journal? Or do you not write down your thoughts? Whenever I need to brainstorm, or whenever I feel like a little bit stressed, like I feel like my brain's just fully clogged because I have too many things I'm thinking about at the same time and it's taking up too much space in my brain, I always like jot everything down onto like paper. Digital and analog do very different things for my brain. But yeah, I have also found the need of like arranging certain projects, like the more consistent or more sustained projects, I think they belong in digital form rather than analog. Because I think analog, or like writing down on a piece of paper, it's good for like more temporary stuff. Like if you're trying to arrange your day and you're like, oh, I gotta wash the dishes, you know, I gotta do this later on, or like, oh, this is what I gotta do today. It's good for like momentary stuff, but for stuff that requires more sustained memory, or like something that you gotta revisit again and again for a prolonged period of time, I think it's better to kind of store that digitally, like on a project management app or on your notes. That's what I'm finding out. I watched the World Cup and ruined my sleeping schedule. Dude, I was like talking to a friend of mine and he was like, I was playing paddle with him and he was like telling me, yeah, no, I'm kind of unhealthy today, so I can't really play as crazily. And I'm like, what's up? It's like, oh yeah, I just got back from the doctors and the doctor said that I shouldn't strain myself physically too much. And I'm like, oh no, what are you sick with? And he's like, no, I've just been watching the World Cup. Well, you guys who might not know, the World Cup happens either between midnight to like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. here, our time, Indonesian time. So this friend of mine has a day job, works till late, gets home, and then like stays up to watch, sleeps a bit, and then like wakes up at like 4 or 5 a.m. I think he sleeps at midnight because he also games. And he's been doing that so often because he's a huge soccer fan, to the point that he had to go to the doctors, and the doctor said, you should probably stop. You're old. Your body can't do this anymore, man. And he's like, yeah, not to be fair, I feel the age. Like, I remember back then I used to be able to do this. Like, it was nothing, you know, back during college days. I could like stay up and have a messy ass sleeping schedule with nothing on my mind. But now I've come to learn that it just doesn't happen anymore with my current day and age. Poor guy. I hope he's better now. Oh yes, Noira, favorite rom-com? Do I have a favorite rom-com? Oh, I like the one with Jamie Lannister and 3 girls. Oh, I don't know what that rom-com is called. I don't know why. But I found that that's one of the rom-coms that has always stuck with me because I found it very enjoyable for some reason. What was it? So it's about like Jamie Lannister cheating on like 3 girls. Like a wife, a mistress, and like a younger mistress or something. It sounds like a bad porn, I know, but it's an actual thing. Like, look it up. It's a rom-com, and if I remember correctly, Kate. Oh, what's her name? Kate something? Not Kate Blanchett, no. There's another Kate in there, part of the movie. And also a recent rom-com I watched was pretty good as well. It's called Voicemail for Isabel. That one's really good as well. Cougar K-drama. It's not even K-drama, dude. It's like on Netflix. Dude, the cougar is Anne Hathaway, mind you. Put some respect to that name, okay? That rom-com I was talking about, the one about like a 40-year-old dating like a 24-year-old boy band member, the girl was Anne Hathaway. I don't remember what the title of the movie is called though. I'd clean the house and do the groceries as a kid during summer. Yeah, like summer cleaning, right? Yeah, it's a good habit. Do you remember how many ice bags to fill in falls now? We have monsoon rains, typhoons, term tests, and school term and vacations. Yeah, but like we have all this, but no summer vacation or summer, what do you call it? Summer camp and everything like that. We don't have that in tropical countries. I know nothing about the World Cup, by the way. Because of the time zones, I have not even bothered subscribing to the World Cup, unfortunately. I assume the actor of Jamie Lannister also plays this role. No, okay, you mean the boy band? No, not that one. I'm gonna look up the movie's name. Hold on. Who's the actor of Jamie Lannister? Nikolai Coster. I'm gonna look up his IMDb. The Other Woman. That's what the movie is called. The Other Woman. Yeah. It's called The Other Woman. It is Cameron Diaz, Kate Upton. That's the other Kate I was talking about, and Leslie Mann are the 3 girls. Why the fuck is Nicki Minaj in the movie? What the fuck? I never even noticed that. Yeah, The Other Woman, good one, and the one with Anne Hathaway and a 24-year-old is called The Idea of You. I mean that with the utmost respect. We love older women. I mean, obviously, that's why you guys are here, right? It's because you guys love older women. Obviously. My wife told me about voicemails to Isabel. She had to convince me that that guy wasn't a creep. Oh, yeah, nah. I mean, even I thought the guy was a creep. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, that overall, despite the creepy behavior, I think it's a pretty decent rom-com. There's a K-drama I like. Oh, I don't watch K-dramas though. I think, yeah, it's a matter of preference. I don't watch K-dramas. No need to call us out like that. It's not calling out. It's endearingly respecting the reality of things, you know? You didn't want to sacrifice your sleep and health to watch the World Cup like your friend? Yeah, no, I did not. I did not have the means to. I like waking up and being able to actually do stuff and not like feel like a fucking zombie. I can't do that anymore. You know what else I have noticed now that this immortal-ish sea fox is older? You see, you guys should appreciate your youth, yeah? The physiology of youth. Because back then in your youth, when you worked out and you did like a crazy, I don't know, leg day or something, you'd be recovering in like 2-3 days max, right? Your muscle strain and everything, it rebuilds in three days max, I reckon. When you're older, oh, it takes a while, man. That's also something that I feel like I've taken for granted. I never realized that was like one of the consequences of getting older. I thought that, oh yeah, getting older is like lower back pain, and it's also like, you know, oh, your back hurts and your body feels very, I don't know, very unflexible, right? Feels very rusty. I thought that was what it was like getting older, but nobody told me about like, oh, your muscles heal much slower. Nobody told me about that. The fuck? It's crazy. Status achieved. Look, I'm being a very generous god here, telling you guys about the things that'll happen when you guys are older. So if you guys are still in your youth, you guys should be thanking me, right? If you want to do like crazy physical things, like, I don't know, high rocks if that's your thing, or I don't know, beat your personal record a little bit more, do that in your youth, because when you're older, it'll take much longer for it to heal. But also, I will say that if you've always led an active life, I think it'll probably not be as bad. If you consistently consistently managed an active life even into your older age, I think it'll be less bad. It won't be as bad. But if not, if you're like someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling active for this month, and then, oh, I'm not feeling that active anymore right now. If you're like an on and off sort of person, it's gonna be a little bit more, you know, taxing on you. Hold on, I need to adjust my vtuber again a tad. Give me a second. I think I gotta restart the VTube app, VTube Studio app. Hold on. Hi there, Victor. Felt a pop in my calf. How? A pop in your calf? How? 3 hours ago? Wait, how? What? Okay, I've never experienced that. Sorry, was syncing my avatar. Yeah, I've never experienced that actually. I'll drink some water. Yeah, how do you get a pop in your calf? That's wild. And I think I'm also... Oh, wait, my V bridger is not connected. Chato Mateo. Okay, all good now. I think. Yeah? Yeah, it's all good now. Oh, it's a bit laggy. What the fuck? Hold up. Give me a second. Let me restart it again. Is it my Wi-Fi? Alright. Should be okay. Should be okay now. Let me see, what did you guys chat? Calf like meaty muscle part? Big muscle below the knee. Heard that pop? Oh my god. Wait, have you questioned how that happened? Was it maybe like a cramp or something? Or some part of your knee or your joint? That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, getting older. And I think it's interesting because you think that, you know, getting older, you would think that life stabilizes a little bit, right? And then like day to day becomes a little bit more, you can becomes a little bit more predictable, which to a certain extent I guess is true. But I've also noticed that if you're willing to look, there's like a whole other world out there, I think, when it comes to getting older. Wait, sorry, I'm paying attention to my model. It's looking a bit weird. The mouth movement is looking a bit weird. Let me, oh my god, wait, sorry. Let me fix it. What is wrong? What is wrong with it? Sorry, I got distracted because I was paying attention to my model. Okay, I think it's okay now. I hope it's okay. But yeah, I've always thought that as you get older, I think the general notion is that things kind of settle down a little bit. Life gets a little bit more predictable and maybe even like boring. But I've noticed for me that there's always like something new to learn, and then you kind of like have new revelations so often, and you realize that, oh, every once in a while you get like flashbacks of your youth, right? You get flashbacks of your youth, and then you realize how stupid you were in your youth, and then you try to kind of, you figure that, oh, maybe I should change something. At least that's what I have noticed recently. But also it hasn't always been that way. I guess for a good part of, let's say 2026, I've mostly settled into like the comfort zone of like, you know, doing whatever all my other friends are doing, and like doing whatever is acceptable with being this current age. But I'm glad that these past few weeks I've been able to kind of look back into my youth and call out my stupidity and change my ways, you know, change my ways. Felt it in the muscle, maybe you pulled. Oh my god, you might want to check the physiotherapist. Hey, Jairson? Yeah. You might want to check a physiotherapist. I swear though, like I feel like the older that I get as well, there's more things that I call out in my youth. It's like you learn new things. You learn a few more things that kind of make you a bit more wiser. And then suddenly when you're thinking about these sort of things, you recall some weird ass, yeah, cringe flashbacks of your youth, and you realize how stupid you were. I don't know. That's what I've been feeling for this these past few weeks. By being a nun, me, a nun? That's crazy. Gotta get your best vibes and best of luck to y'all. Have a good one, Merkworks, and thanks for dropping by. Thank you. Yeah, hope you get to finish your chores efficiently and effectively. Hope you get to do that. I mean, I think about it, right? I know some of you guys aren't particularly old, right? But of course we have like our past to go off of. What's one particular thing that, okay, maybe not regret, but like you kind of reckon, okay, what's one thing that you stupidly did in your youth that has kind of inspired you to do different nowadays? What's one thing? If you don't want to, like, of course I'm not telling you to reveal your deepest, darkest secrets. Like, you don't have to. This isn't a confession. I mean, it can be, but it's not. So you don't have to reveal to me something you don't want to reveal. But like, what's one thing that you reckon you did in your youth, you reckon is stupid, and now you're willing to change your ways because of it? Jason, thank you for the 5 gifted over on Twitch side. Thank you for bringing in 5 new titlings into the Deep Blue. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. The Deep Blue grows, guys. The Deep Blue grows. Oh my god. Confession sounds like something we do in a cult, but obviously we're not a cult. So, none of that. None of that. 5 of us indeed. Lucky us. Lucky us having 5 more titlings. We're not a cult though, Jason. I know you just brought in 5 new titlings into the Deep Blue, but we're still not a cult. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But yeah, like for me, I think it's, if I were to say something about that, it'd definitely be the whole, you know, I was in a nice place. I was in a nice city, but I squandered that privilege. I was in a nice city with a lot of things going on, and like I had all the means to kind of entertain the things that I like and try out new things and entertain my hobbies, but I opted to, I don't know, fucking game instead or something. I opted to stay home instead. But then of course, in my youth, I never really thought of that, because like I said, when you're young, you think you have all the time in the world and you think you're immortal and shit. Stopping in with coffee this morning. Hopefully your coffee tastes good, random person. That wasn't a threat, by the way. That was a genuine half blessing for you. Okay, when I say half blessing, it sounds like a blackmail though. Thank you for starting a hype train, Jason. Thank you. Yeah, nah, something is definitely wrong with my tracking. Hold on. What the fuck? Let me check it again. That's so weird. What is going on? Why today in particular that it starts acting up? Impulsivity? Oh wait, I'd rather not. My brain is very insistent on ruining my day every day with such thoughts. I know, I can, yeah, but yeah, fair. No worries. Don't you just hate it when sometimes you're doing something totally random and then you get attacked by like a random flashback and you just cringe the fuck out of it, and then you start questioning everything about your life and questioning your confidence and suddenly imposter syndrome and everything? So I can relate. Yeah, it's the worst. Don't have any specific moments, but I guess stop taking time for granted. You don't have as much time as you think. Yeah, definitely that. That's such a youth thing, isn't it? Too young to answer? Oh yeah, some of you guys are too young, and then you gotta listen to the wisdom of the elderly. The elderly that we have in chat. Just got a mocha coffee yogurt smoothie from a tropical cafe. That sounds good. But make it cult and follow you. Wouldn't that be retroactively make it a cult and you are cult leader? No. Paul doesn't want to be Lisan Al-Gaib but still becomes Lisan Al-Gaib. Yeah, but if I don't acknowledge it, then I won't ever become Lisan Al-Gaib, right? That's... yeah, Paul Atreides. So no, Keith, no. Hello, RJD. Not saying no to certain things probably would have saved myself trouble and heartbreak. Oh yeah, definitely. I think for some reason I don't know if it's because I grew up this way or because of personal experience. I think in your youth, or everyone in your, when people go through their youth, most people would kind of go through a people-pleasing sort of phase because you don't know any better. I think that's a common thing that happens in youth, right? Because maybe you don't have the confidence to stand your own ground, and thus you, I don't know, you become a people pleaser instead, or you just don't know any better and you thought that, oh, that's the way to live life, you know, because you're young. Guess I may be too young to have any specific revelations or sharp changes. It's mostly about building healthy habits over time for me. Healthy habits, for sure. I did not know that we had that many young titlings in chat. Because you guys know, do you guys know that a majority of the people in chat are rather aged? I think the younglings in chat are actually, I think, like what, 20% or something? Basically the minority of the percentage. I think we have like more relatively older people in chat. Like my viewers are generally older. Just don't check live. Of course there's tech troubles. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my mouth tracking is very weird today, but I think I'll just live with it. How are you, Echo? Every goddamn day? Yeah, relatable. But, oh man, I used to get harassed by those thoughts so often. Like thoughts of like cringy flashbacks. But I'm glad like nowadays I've kind of figured out ways to kind of just not ignore it. Like you accept it as like, oh yeah, it's definitely part of my past and I definitely did that. But you also learn to quickly accept it is what it is and there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm gonna fucking move on. I got better things to do. So at least I've kind of broken that cycle learned to break that cycle a little bit faster nowadays, I think. Don't throw shade towards yourself like that. I mean, I can throw shade to my past self. I was young and stupid. I always say that. but if I wasn't that young and stupid, I wouldn't be where I am now. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't, with all the bad experiences that happened way back when in the past, be cringy or painful and everything, without them, I wouldn't be the person I am now. So despite the cringiness, despite the stupidity, I'm thankful of it. And I'm glad at least that now I have the means to not go through that again, I hope, since I know better, right? Thank you for the hype train, guys. Thank you once again. Thank you for supporting the Deep Blue. Oh, I put on my sunnies. I don't know why. That was a misclick. If I could make my past self take an opportunity I missed, I'd have not missed out on my NASA job opportunities. That being said, it was more to do depression and burnout than I just didn't have the skills to avoid. Yeah, mental situations suck. Hey, they suck so bad. Hey there, Ryuka. I'm over 30. Am I unk chat? According to my analytics, nah. If anything, you're part of the majority, Echo. General age chart for the titlings. I can pull it up right now. I can pull up the YouTube analytics right now. I'll tell you guys what the demographic is. Recently though, I think I've been getting like a younger demographic because of some of my, I think it's the accent video. The accent video brought in a lot of new younger viewers. But let me see. My audience demographic. Age. Yeah, okay, so I don't know how, but apparently I have 13 to 17-year-old people watching my shit, even though I flag my videos as for adults only. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, 18 to 24 years is 25.8%. This is within the past 28 days. And 25 to 34 years is 58.7%. You see, majority. And then 35 to 44 years is 11.5%. And then 45 to 54 is 1.1%, and 55 to 64 is 0.2%. So you can see how like my demographic is generally older. Sorry, wait, where's my chat window? If I remember correctly, we do have, I remember someone saying they were like 50-ish. I can't remember who it was though. But anyway, generally, the titlings here are generally older. And I don't have a problem with that because no matter how old you are, I'm still older than all of you guys. That's how it is, right? That's why you guys should be calling me, you all should just be calling me oneesan. I'd honestly be terrified to change anything before mid-20s because that's when I met my wife and no amount of early development is worth risking this timeline. Aww, tell your wife that. That's kind of romantic, man. Hi there, Farhan. And Potato, what's up? And Roger. I'm here because I need an older oneesan. Wow. Someone needs some hand holding. Still feel like a baby. I don't know what you're talking about. Auntie. Not auntie, it's oneesan. It's oneesan. Obviously, not auntie. Obviously. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of retrospection these past few weeks. It's interesting. I've been having a lot of revelations in general. I don't know why. I Is it because I've been so busy to the point that when I do, I don't know. It's weird because like I've been really busy, but then randomly I just have like a bunch of these thoughts. Like thinking about my youth and then like having some certain revelations because of it. Interesting stuff. You'd think that's like something that happens when you have like more free time, but for me it happened in the midst of chaos. Elder? Yes, I am an elder. Elder. Okay, elder sounds like I'm wise as fuck. Maybe because I need oneesan and drinking buddies. Ah. Elder's titling come forth. They have an actual oneesan. She's unfortunately not very nice. It's okay. At least this anime girl oneesan is like neutrally nice, I think. As long as you keep putting offerings on the shrine, I'll be nice. I won't bring an apocalyptic event as long as you guys put offerings on the shrine. Don't forget, it's like $5 for every 1 hour of other VTuber watched. That's a joke, by the way. Don't like quote me out of context and get me cancelled, dude. Is it healthy to over-reflect about yourself obsessively? I mean, I think there's a difference between doing it healthily and doing it in a way that doesn't help. So I think for me, I know when I look back and I just cringe too much and it ends up ruining and souring my mood and affects my whatever the fuck I'm supposed to do for the day. I know when it's like that. But I also know when, oh yeah, no, I think this needs a little thunk, you know? I think, at least for me, I can tell the difference. And thus, but also, just like how overthinking can be procrastination, I think like retrospecting can also be procrastination. Sometimes you do other things that might be relatively harder or other things you don't usually do just because you choose to do that over doing whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. It's master procrastination 101. Advanced procrastination. Forfeit all my mortal possessions to the... Not a cult though, but yes, mortal possessions. I accept them. Came here for the philosophical life talks today because I can't leave it. Not a cult though. Not a cult. So nobody's keeping you, Toad. Technically, nobody's keeping you. You know, I watched like an interesting video during the weekdays. Wait, it's still the weekdays. What the fuck? Even though it's like the last stream of the week, but it's still the weekdays. About oh shit, what was the video called? 17 happiest jobs? Let me see. Was that what it was called? Happiest jobs of 2026. Let me check the list. Wait, I'm checking. Happiest jobs of 2026. This is like a video from Speed, right? It's very interesting. Very interesting. So it's based off of like studies done in a certain way, like they get surveyed about like certain things. And I want to talk about it because I want to hear what you guys think of this, okay? Because I think it's interesting because I think the idea of like job satisfaction or happiness is like different for everyone. And I think this list kind of shows how certain things affects the supposed happiness of what people think a job can be. I've been here for about 1 hour. I heard the word cult at least 50 times. Blame the allegations, not me. Okay, I'm not the one bringing the words out, man. Okay, as your mind sought to escape to maintain your sanity. So it began thinking of anything except the current situation. Oh, perhaps. That's a fair observation, actually. Perhaps, yeah. Okay, so 17 happiest jobs. The 17th is lifeguard, which I think is interesting. Which makes sense. I think that what would make people satisfied or happy with their job is like if they feel like they resonate with a sense of purpose that also is brought about by that job. I think as a lifeguard, on top of you having, I guess, I'm assuming lifeguards have a lot of downtime when nobody's in danger, but like when someone is in danger and you help them out, it's something that resonates. It's something that's very humane and will definitely will definitely make yourself feel very satisfied, happy, and fulfilled, right? It's a very strong purpose, you know, saving people and making sure everyone's okay. So number 17 is lifeguard. And number 16 is bookkeeper, which is crazy. I have no bookkeeping, for you guys who don't know, is basically accounting. Bookkeeping is like basically kind of like data entry for the general ledger. So the stuff like your expenses and everything, this is the bookkeeper is a person who kind of jots all that down. Now, I don't know how bookkeeping can be number 16 on the happiest jobs of 2026. Accounting doesn't, yeah, but doesn't it sound boring as hell? But to be fair, I guess like people have different standards of what they might find fulfilling or not. Like bookkeeping would be a fucking nightmare for me. I hate administrative and boring tasks. I need something that pokes at my brain. You know, I'm unfortunately that kind of person. I hate administrative tasks and stuff that requires discipline and sustained effort. I can't do that. Yeah, we're talking about like the happiest jobs of 2026. Lifeguard does seem pretty boring 90% of the time, unless you're actively patrolling maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Then I was thinking like lifeguard being at 17 was mostly like, oh, the sense of purpose or fulfillment, right? Of how like, oh, you can be saving someone's life. Number 15 is IT support, which I think is fucking crazy. Because I've never met anyone who has been happy being IT support. I guess IT support can result in like a lot of funny moments and funny stories, but I don't know why IT support is number 15. Oh no, wait, IT support is that right? That's what I'm saying. But just so you guys know, like this list, it has legit sources, okay? Like from proper studies and like proper ways of surveying and everything like that. You guys can look it up. 17 happiest jobs of 2026. If you look it up on YouTube, you can find it. Pixel Gamer, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Okay, number 14 is administrative assistant, which to me also doesn't make sense. I would be fucking bored, but also I guess in a way, because administrative assistant is basically someone who matters a lot. Maybe that sense of, oh wow, I matter and I'm important, kind of contributes to how fulfilled someone might feel in the job, perhaps. That's what I'm assuming. And the scope of administrative assistant, I would assume, is like, oh, the person you go to when it comes to general stuff about the office or management, I guess. Yeah, secretary, pretty much, yeah. So your role is quite pivotal, and I think that would, I guess, contribute to like your fulfillment about your job, because at least you feel important, right? Let me drink some water actually. Hold on. The amount of horror stories I've heard from my seniors from just their OJTs is enough to make me glad I picked CS over it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When they went through this list, I was also questioning it. Number 13 is maintenance technician. I do know some people who are quite satisfied with being a maintenance technician. Like, I would assume maintenance technician covers I don't know, like, is being a plumber one of them? Or like being someone who fixes something about the house, or like the air conditioning or something like that. I'm assuming that's what a maintenance technician is. So engineering technician, or someone who fixes shit. I mean, I think fixing stuff is very important. So I can see where someone can be fulfilled with that, or be happy about helping other people fix stuff. And I'm also assuming because like it's a maintenance technician, you only get called if stuff breaks. That means like other than that, you're generally chill. But yeah, I do know like a few people who do these sort of job scopes and they're pretty happy with it. Victor super chat arigato. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. By my name as Imperial Secretary, demand less work hours and no overwork times and extended vacations. Wow, you want a lot of stuff. But thank you, Victor. My blessing then to you is that I hope you get a modicum of those requests of yours, Victor. That's my blessing to you, Victor. That's my blessing to you. Problem solving physical issues with one's own hands is fulfilling but depends on workload. Fair. That's also another thing, right? It's like you're trying to MacGyver stuff, or you're trying to... the problem solving part, I think, is engaging as well. And especially if you're like a hands-on DIY sort of guy, I think it'd be something that's quite engaging and quite fun to do. I mean, at least I enjoy problem solving. At least like I can attest from my own personal view. I prefer something that involves problem solving rather than something administrative and boring like bookkeeping. That does sound fun. Creating or bringing things back brings a great kind of feeling. Oh, true. To a certain extent, it is also creating, right? I mentioned previously that the book *Sapiens* says that a human's greatest strength or feature is imagination. And I think the output of imagination is often like creativity, right? Or like you creating something, that's being creative, right? I think problem solving or creating a solution to something is creating something. And that always has a fulfilling feeling to it. So problem solving stuff gives the fulfillment of creating something versus say something like bookkeeping. Though you can argue, of course, like, oh yeah, but I'm creating records for the general ledger. Sure, but like, you know, for me, I think problem solving definitely fulfills me more. Our maintenance at work is constantly running around, barely keeping machines running. Damn, you have a lot of stuff happening at your workplace, hey? Poor maintenance guy. Hi there, Nolan. Give me a huge stack of files to solve in 10 hours and I would just hate the job itself, even when it's problem solving. I think then it's a matter of like workload, right? Okay, now next is at number 12 is firefighter. On a plane, I met, I was having a conversation with the guy next to me, and he was a firefighter, and he previously was, I think he used to work like an office job or something. Basically like, he was a loaded office finance guy, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what he did, but he's like the type to wear a suit and tie, you know what I'm saying? And he hated his job and he hated his life, and then he switched over to becoming a firefighter and he loved it. He said it has like a great sense of purpose, and the humanity side of it is amazing, being a firefighter, and the fact that you gotta constantly stay active as well is really good. So at least from that conversation, I can attest to mayhaps firefighting is a very good job to be happy with, in a way. Hi there, Kai, Dante. Bookkeeping is generally absurd amounts of workload, which is why I quit. Oh wait, you used to do bookkeeping. Damn. I'm very thankful for people who can do administrative tasks for long periods of time. Thank goodness. I could never. Next one is on top of firefighter. Number 11 is flight attendant. I have a friend who's also a flight attendant. 2 friends who are flight attendants. They seem happy, yeah. No, wait. Actually one. No, the other one wasn't a flight attendant. Yeah, there's this one. My friend's dating a flight attendant. She seems like a cheery gal, but I have a very weird view about flight attendants at like flight crews that I don't think I should talk about. But the TLDR is, I think that the flight crew people are generally very horny, but like that's a totally different topic. But flight attendants, I can see why they're happy. They get to travel, and then sometimes if you want to take some, time off, you can. If you want to travel, you can get discounted prices for it, right? And also you get to visit like different cities every time you every time you're on the job. And like once you're off the job, like you're no longer manning a flight, you can just sit down and chillax. You don't have to take the work home. There's nothing to think about when you're not on the plane, so I can see why being a flight attendant can be pretty satisfying and pretty good. A trend I'm noticing in the list is like jobs that help people directly. Makes sense though. Helping people just gives a nice feeling. Helping people directly. Yeah, right now, since 17 was... Okay, the ones we've had, going from the bottom most, is lifeguard, bookkeeper, IT support, administrative assistant, maintenance assistant, firefighter, and flight attendant. I think it's a mix of how much you matter at the workplace and also helping people directly, like the human aspect of it. And I still don't understand why bookkeeping is number 16, so I can't say much about it. I guess because you're pivotal as well to the office. You need bookkeepers, someone to jot down the general ledger, and problem solving and saving people and maybe work-life balance. I'm assuming why flight attendant is at number 11 is mostly the work-life balance in a way. My entire job revolves around bus-sized machines that are so old that they've been broken and fixed numerous times and more often. Things are getting a bit out of hand, but we try to keep... Oh, man! That sounds like chaos, dude. Sounds like chaos. Is it the type where there's no way to kind of revitalize or replace stuff because it's like old tech or something, or it's too expensive to kind of replace stuff, so you just gotta like keep on fixing it, even though every time you fix it, it has like a lower lifespan. The fix lasts much less longer every time you fix it. Is it that kind of situation? Hello, Emrys Panda. How are you? Oil rig field. Oh, I also had a friend who worked at an oil rig field. Oh, his stories are crazy. Oh my god. He told me about this one time when the weather was so crazy that he thought he was gonna die, and he prepared like a will and like a letter to send to his loved ones, only then in the last minute to be picked up by helicopters. Crazy shit, man. Like straight out of the movies. Do you know that flight attendants are demanded to learn about basic survival and medical knowledge in the event they're involved in a plane crash in the middle? Oh, I didn't know that. Guess they just really like books. The stewardesses on planes are heartless and act like robots. Very few times I had admiration of them. I think it depends on like the flight and the culture of the company, just like with most companies, right? It mostly depends on the working culture in general. Overtime 4 to 5 days a week. Having to take home work to finish. Damn! That's crazy bookkeeping. Alright, I don't think the bookkeeping in my office is that crazy. I think you don't really have to take the work home. Mostly like the stuff in my office, I think the bookkeepers in my office finish whatever they need to do at the office. So, damn, maybe your previous workplace just needed to hire more bookkeepers. Alright, so number 10 is carpenter. I can see why carpenter is number 10, because once again, you're creating stuff, right? And I think creating stuff, even if like someone commissions you to make something out of wood, I think the process of creating something and making it happen and seeing how happy your client is something that's pretty cool. And plus, like, if you like woodworking, I'm sure you love being a carpenter. Though I don't know. I guess it's the argument of like, you know how like some artists, they like drawing, they like making illustrations, but they hate doing commissions? I don't know how much that would affect a carpenter. If you love drawing, if you love making illustrations, and you make that your job, would you end up hating that job much more than, say, an office job? or would you still prefer that job of drawing and turning your hobby into a job versus like doing an office job? I don't know. I have yet turned my hobbies into something I'm monetarily reliant on. So I don't know if I can say anything about that. Carpenters should be hired, in my opinion. Really fun to make woodworks. Yeah, but like I think doing something you like for monetary means and your livelihood is like a different story, right? I can see Noira being a carpenter while still doing VTubing. Carpentry, I don't think carpentry is my thing. I've tried leatherworking, which is like, you know, something handsy. I don't think I'm not that good with handsy stuff. I don't think so, at least in my opinion. I would love to try it though. I think it's a curious thing. I am scared of splinters. But I'm someone who's like, I'll give it a shot. If I like it, I like it. If not, then I won't. Cashy, thank you for the lurk. You think so new issue comes up, quality of the product goes down over. Oh, no, yeah, that sucks. Have a good one, random person. Coffee was delicious. Good to hear that. Honestly, carpenters are an extremely skilled profession, and usually only those who are passionate about it generally never switch profession. Also, I don't know how much money carpenters generally make, because I would assume in this list that the amount of money that you make is also probably very relevant to how happy you are with the job, right? Because sure, money doesn't buy happiness, money doesn't solve happiness, but you can say that money supports the path towards happiness, because if you're not worrying about survival, you can definitely start thinking about other things in life. Right? You can maybe, once you're not working 2 to 3 jobs, then maybe you'll have time to sit down and entertain your hobbies after all. Blacksmith Noira, no splinters in the forge. Fair. That's a possible alternative. Playing house flipper game makes me interested in house renovations. House renovations are fun, yeah. As someone who loves The Sims and has helped with renovating certain places, fun stuff. Harrison Ford was a carpenter before becoming an actor. Huh. How? That's crazy. Is this like the random fact about how Chris Hemsworth used to be like the kind of consultant for hearing aids or something? I think he was like a hearing aid consultant or something like that before he became an actor or something. It was like a random job. Happiness and exposure for works. A master crafted table can go for hundreds of thousands in China. Fun to finish chapter after like a week of writer's block. Congrats, Keith! Excited for you. Good job. Getting over a writer's block is a big thing to celebrate, hey? Even in certain parts of Europe. Yeah, and I think whatever job you take on this list, I think where you're situated also matters, because I think like depending on the culture you are immersed in, how the people around you treat you, or how respected your job is, or how much money you can make depends on where you're situated. Don't you reckon? Like I reckon like certain countries would not appreciate craftsmanship as much compared to say another country. So that's a there's these sorts of dependencies as well. Next up, oh, this is crazy. Number 9 is office manager, which is kind of similar to, I guess, number 14 we had like administrative assistant. I guess that's more like doing admin work. Office manager is more like everything else. And I don't know why office manager would be number 9. Is it because you matter? Is it because like people look for you and you matter and like people like you if you do your job well? Is that why? Office managers are very busy. There's always something going on around the office. Money? I don't know how much office managers make. But I can imagine the chaos and responsibility. Office managers are the people you kind of like ring up to be like, hey, where'd you put the stapler? That's an office manager, right? Like Dwight from The Office. That's an office manager. Or is that not? Wait, am I thinking of something totally different? Okay, maybe not Dwight. Maybe someone like Pam instead from The Office. I don't know what the scope of an office manager is. Yeah. And then number 8, we have executive assistant. Executive assistant. I'm assuming that's more like a secretary. Yeah, a secretary to say like a C-level or like a high-level lead. I think that's what an executive assistant is. Isn't Michael the manager? Is Michael the manager? Oh, if Michael is the manager, then he's probably like the top honcho of the branch. Wait, isn't Michael the branch manager? What are the office managers in Mommy RP ASMRs? I'm sorry, I don't really know much about that, so I can't say much about that. If anything, maybe you can, because you're more experienced in it, Keith. Have a good one, Victor. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, executive assistant is number 8. Maybe because when you're working with someone who's hella important and maybe a C-level or like a high-level lead or high-level manager, you're like, you have this sense of awe and you're very, I don't know, highly motivated to learn from this person. So like there's a mentorship thing going on. So I can imagine how you could be kind of happy, but I can also imagine how, I don't know, all the office related shows that I have watched with high level executives having an assistant or a secretary, they treat them like shit. So I don't know whether the happiness actually compensates for the amount of stress that happens within the scope of the work. What, good boys with head pads and lap nappies and cuddles? Okay, I'll trust your word with that. I'll trust your word for that, Keith. 1 hour left. Get a bottle of soju. Wow. Yeah, go ahead. But remember, Fahan, moderation. Dependent on the country and culture. I don't know. The last thing I watched that was like office related was probably Suits. And there's a lot of drama in Suits. Yeah, depending on country and culture for sure. And number 7 is fitness instructor. I think this one makes sense. Fitness instructor. I think it is cool to teach people how to be more healthy, teach people how to have better habits, and actively see the improvements in people's physical bodies. And also the fact that you're healthy yourself. I think just being active in general, full stop, you'll be a generally happier person. So it makes sense that if you're a fitness instructor, you'll probably be decently happy. Don't you reckon? Studies have shown, after all, that that the more active that you are, the more your serotonin levels increase, and it kind of like manages the baseline of your energy and your mood a little bit better for your day-to-day. In West Asian countries, it's a nightmare, but for West, it's far more chill. I think it depends on where too. For some reason, I'm like imagining if you work for like a hella corpo in New York, for example, or like in Silicon Valley, it'll probably still be a hella stressful job as an executive assistant, hey? Man, I don't know why my throat feels very dry today. Might be the air quality. Fitness instructor is another hobby turned job like carpenter. I guess, yeah. I don't think you'd become a fitness instructor for like the money. Hey? So it's on the side of, on top of liking working out, you're also like helping or teaching other people to work out. And yeah, just being healthy and being active in general, I guess. For that, because I feel like I do feel better after being active. I think being productive is, oh, that's also another topic to unpack. We can talk about that later after we finish this list. There's so being active physically helps with your emotional regulation and your baseline of energy and moods. according to studies. You can look that up. But being productive resulting in something similar is also a different thing that we can talk about later. But yeah, definitely being active, like even like a 15-minute walk can really help with your general emotional regulation. I think basically when they say walk it off and everything, it's real, it's true, it's a real thing. After all, humans are made to, of course, be healthy, right? And I don't think evolution can just be erased like that, right? If we were previously cavemen who had to like hunt for our food back then, and our physiology was kind of built for that and made for that, then it's not something that can just change over like a few thousand years with like the Industrial Revolution and technological innovation, I reckon. Number 6 is logistics manager. I can attest to that. I have dabbled in logistics a little bit. It is very fun, but also a nightmare. It can be like a hell of a nightmare, but the feeling that you get doing logistics or being like in operations, logistical operations and everything is like, you know when you play like what is the game where you kind of just route airplanes? Airplane Manager or something like that? Airport, I don't remember what that game is called. It's that sort of feeling. It's that sort of Factorio? I've never played Factorio. Or like City Skylines. It has the same sort of feeling where you kind of have a problem and you have to solve it architecturally. So like let's say, oh, I need to fix like the logistics pipeline. And like, oh, what happens when we purchase an item? How do we do the receiving? How do we store the goods? How do we pick up the goods for delivery? These sort of things. Yeah, air traffic controller. Thank you. It is like a big puzzle for you to solve. I love that. It's a big problem-solving thing, and it's super fun. It's basically like a game. So it's super fun. It can get very stressful though, but once the problem is solved, it's also something that's very measurable. Meaning like you can see if there's an improvement or if there's like a positive change with whatever you did or whatever change you made, it is immediately, you can immediately see it in like the metrics that you measure, in your KPIs, or be like, oh, we've sped up our delivery pipeline or our delivery processes by like 20%. You can time that shit. Everything's very measurable. So it's a job that requires high problem solving, but also gives you very solid results. So I can imagine, I can attest to at least that being a very fulfilling job. Hi there, Kenzu. Any city builder game ever? Yeah. Excel spreadsheet RTC games? I did not know that was a thing. I can attest the walk it off is really helpful, especially when work gets stressful. That fresh oxygen from unironically touching grass helps me calm down. Yeah, for real. Stressful when you start or encounter a pretty big problem. Relaxing when everything works as intended. Yeah, like, it's like Pal World. You know, when everything starts self-sustaining and everything works beautifully and synergistically. That's a word, right? Synergistically. When everything starts working in synergy, it's just so satisfying. The same thing is some jobs are like that, and I think logistics manager is one of them. I was once interested in being logistic officer in the event I decided to join the army. I'm interested in dealing with logistics with various kinds of equipment. I mean, it's something you can also try revisiting again. And synergizes, is it not? Did I say what? Synergistically? Is that what I said? Let me see if that's an actual word. Synergistically. Just creating words. Synergistically. Oh, synergistically is a word though. Synergistically is an adverb that means working together to create a combined effect greater than the sum of separate parts. Ah, come on guys, it's a legit word. It's even on the Cambridge Dictionary. So, it sounds fake, but it's a real word, okay? And okay, I don't understand. Number 5. Number 5 is sales representative, which I'm not really sure about. Sales representative? I hate working in anything remotely in sales, so I can't imagine. Have any of you guys ever worked in sales? I can't imagine being a sales representative is good or fun. I don't like selling stuff to people. I like recommending stuff to people if it's like, if I thoroughly think it's genuinely cool to share about. But sales representative, I don't know. Hi there, deleted. What's up? What's this list for? This list is a list of happiest jobs of 2026. So we're currently on number 5 and it's sales representative, which is crazy. Not sales, but I worked a few years as a convenience store worker and that was wildly draining. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like pretty much like, it's worse than a retail job, I reckon. Because it's a little bit more intense, isn't it? This list sounds like all corporate participants had a go to that. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently it was done in a rather, you know, they just surveyed people within the industry. So who knows? I don't know. Really demands you to have and gain connections rather than pushing your products. The thing is, like, I think I've noticed, like, what I like and don't like nowadays, right? Because I'm old, obviously. I don't like pushing forward hidden agendas or like performative stuff. As weird as that sounds, like, it's not that it's good or bad. It's not that it's bad. I recognize that it's sometimes necessary, but I just don't like doing it. Like, if I had a choice to not do that, I'd prefer not to do that. Like, even if I'm a realist, right? Sometimes I understand that you got to do certain things for certain jobs or certain results, and sometimes I will just suck it up and do it. But yeah, if I had a choice to, I prefer not to do it. Hi there, Ecstasy. Happiest job that I worked for was a blue-collar steel worker. It was physically tiring, but I was mentally happiest, and the people there had such a level of camaraderie and the best humor. That's kind of like carpentry, isn't it? But I guess carpentry is a little bit more, I don't know, is it a little bit more individualistic compared to, like, you know, something that requires more group work? Like, I'm assuming steelworking requires a more of a team compared to carpentry. Also developed a bad habit from that job. Fuck became used like a comma. What do you mean? Oh, like, yeah, so you just say fuck all the time. Hi there, Trix. All right, next up, number 4 is real estate agent. They do make good money, number 1. Number 2, I think the amount of stress they go through for the large amount of money is not as much. It's there's a little bit of disparity there, meaning like you don't have to work like crazy hours for the amount of money that you get, but also it's very luck based. I reckon, like, if you don't get any sales, you're fucked. But also, if you're in the top tier of like the real estate agents, you're probably gonna be pretty fucking satisfied with what you're getting, right? So it makes sense how, I don't know how it is, how I feel with it being at number 4, but I do reckon it belongs somewhere in top 10, but maybe not number 4. We're talking about happiest jobs of 2026. And real estate agents' income is based completely on the region you are in and how many houses you are selling per year. Isn't it more commission based? I mean, yeah, how many houses you're selling a year, right? But I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm saying this based off of my assumptions of what it's like being a real estate agent. Like, you sell the house, you pitch it to someone, and then maybe if you're lucky, you'll sell it and you'll get a good commission. It doesn't sound like as much work as like grinding through your day-to-day every day and working hard every day to get paid a monthly salary, if that makes sense. But like, as well as we mentioned, it is very much RNG based. And then number 3 is software developer. Makes sense. I worked in the tech industry. Makes sense. You get paid decently. And as a software developer, you create stuff. So there's a creation aspect of it and strong problem solving aspect of it as well. So software developer makes sense in being number 3. They go through nice places and see nice houses probably. Maybe that's part of it. Trumpet, thank you for bringing in one new titling into the deep blue. Thank you. Thank you, Trumpet. Now, number 2 is something similar. Number 2 is software engineer. Which is, what's the difference between developer and engineer? I think with engineer, you're just like mostly doing stuff in the back end. Developer usually is like you're specifically developing for something, like a product. Engineer, you might just be maybe either doing, I don't know, what is the difference? Engineer is like every other thing that doesn't involve like creating something for a product. Let me look it up. Software engineer versus developer. Engineer is the designer of the program function. Developer is the person seeing the majority of the code. Oh, is it? I would work hand in hand with developers when at the steel yard. Oh, in the context of software though, like programming. I mean, they're both like programming though, like software engineer and software developer. I have worked with programmers, but the people I've worked with were just like, oh, they're either back end, front end, or full stack. So I don't know what the difference is, particularly between like software engineer and software developer. I googled it, and apparently it says, while the industry often uses these terms interchangeably, software engineers typically apply scientific and mathematical principles to design and build large-scale systems. So more in like the architectural side of things. Ah, that makes sense. So software architecture and like the general, software architecture and how it goes hand in hand with everything else. Software developers act as hands-on creators who specialize in writing, testing, and deploying specific applications. So developers are most so the people doing the groundwork, like the programming. Meanwhile, the engineers are the architects who like plan the bigger macro stuff. That makes sense. Yeah, in my previous workplace, I don't think we used those labels. It was just, everyone was just an engineer or a programmer. And then sometimes if the guy is smart enough, he'll get invited into an architecture meeting. Good money, luxury crowd. You don't have to sell that much. Their customer base likely knows what they're looking for. Survey engineer after being a steel worker for a few years. Work with machinists on the physical side. Ah, backends are paid a lot. Yeah. I mean, front ends are too. But I don't know. I think with the recent development in the tech and programming in the tech and software dev industry, maybe front end developers are not as appreciated. I do know, like, if you're a back-end programmer, it's much easier for you to move jobs and find jobs. For front ends, at least from my friends that I know, they have a harder time finding another job. I'd assume that the human aspect would weigh much more than other benefits. It's surprising seeing that. Yeah, it's not, hey? So, okay, number one is, are you guys ready for number one? Number one is physician. That's crazy. Physician. I can see how a physician directly helps people and how people can be very thankful with getting help with their health because health is everything, right? Health is the time you have. When you're sick and your health is shite, suddenly you only have one problem and it's staying healthy. So health can be very important, and I think having someone helping out with health can feel very fulfilling. So apparently number one most happiest job of 2026 is physician, but also from the physicians that I know or doctors that I know, they're all quite stressed. So I don't know. I I don't know. I can see how they can be fulfilled from the job, but on the other hand, I can also see how stressful the job can be, because, you know, sick people, they complain a lot. Sick people complain a lot, and they're very scared and stressed. I mean, you would assume, I think back then I used to have this thought that I will never date a doctor, because I think doctors listen to sick and stressed people every day, and he's gonna bring that home. And I don't know if I have the mental capacity for that. I used to think that for myself. I've never dated a doctor though, so I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's my assumption. But yeah, I don't know. Well, according to this list, it's number 1. So if we go through everything, right, from number 17 to number 1, it goes happiest jobs of 2026. Number 17 is lifeguard. 16 is bookkeeper. 15 is IT support. 14 is administrative assistant. 13 is maintenance technician. 12 is firefighter. 11 is flight attendant. 10th is carpenter. 9th is office manager. And 8th is executive assistant. 7th is fitness instructor. 6th is logistics manager. 5th is sales representative. 4th is real estate agent. 3rd, software developer. 2nd, software engineer. And 1st is physician. I can see why software engineer is above software developer, but I think it also depends on the person. But if I'm a programmer, it means that I like problem solving, because that's what programmers do mostly, right? Solve problems and make things happen. So I think part of liking solving problems and making things happen is also part of, some people might also enjoy looking at the bigger picture and the architecture of things and designing the systems for it. So I can imagine how software engineer can be above software developer. But yeah, I don't know if I agree with this list. I think the software engineer and developer, it makes sense that it's kind of up there. Physician is questionable to me, because I think there's a lot of stress that comes with it as well. Real estate agent kind of makes sense. Logistics manager makes sense. Fitness instructor as well. I feel like fitness instructor is not higher because you don't get paid that much. Carpenter maybe would be high. I would think carpenter would have been higher. Yeah. And yeah, nothing about food. I guess like being in the food industry, or like being a chef or something, can be pretty stressful perhaps. Hold on, sorry, let me read chat. Oh yeah, self-employed and business owner is not included in the list, because it's only talking about like employment jobs. So it wasn't considered at all for the list. Be civil rights lawyer. Get trauma dumped by people and expect you to solve their problems. Pay less than a burst. Lawyers are stressful, man. I have a cousin who's a lawyer. He's stressed. He has so much work, man. Would use my medical license in the first week after vaulting over the counter to fist cover. What? Are you imagining your fantasy right now, Keith? Is that what's going on? Well, the professional doctors will keep their stay at work. Oh, will keep their work at work. Not only is it professional to keep their work and daily life separate, it also keeps them from breaking the HIPPA. Yeah, but also like you would think like you can confide in your partner, right? Because I can't imagine you listening to a lot of... It's why therapists need therapists. Does that make sense? I think if you have a lot of sad, stressful people, or like physically ill people who are just feeling shitty, talking to you a lot, it'll kind of gain on you, man. And I don't know if this is a thing, but in my perspective, it sounds like doctors definitely need therapists, because if they can't talk to their partners, then they should at least be able to talk to their therapists, right? I'm a software engineer. Yeah, how's life as a software engineer, G7? I can at least attest to working in the tech industry. I've enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot, yeah. working in the tech industry, it's nice to be able to create things and see it come into action in a relatively fast-paced way too, which is, I guess, the way in which I prefer it. Versus, say, like a bureaucratic, traditional big-ass corporate company, you know? I don't like administrative and bureaucratic tediousness. Considering going into trades to AI-proof my future. Trades like what? Like, AI-proof your future. That sounds so dystopian, doesn't it? It's crazy how relevant it is nowadays, but also it's so dystopian sounding. Hi there, Thousand Sunset. Dated a psychologist who did suicide hotline. Oh my god. Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough. I applaud people who are able to do such works. It's crazy. Psychologists and therapists are crazy, man. Oh my god. It sucks that the human brain can be so fucked up sometimes, doesn't it? And it's just like if you think about it. Sorry. Oh. I don't know if you guys heard that. I popped my hip. Oh, that was so loud. I'm sorry. I did calisthenics yesterday, and my glutes and hip has been burning, dude. And that pop was everything. You heard it? No way. Wait, wasn't that loud? Been missing streams because of work. It's okay with you now though, Sunset, and it's okay. VODs are around for a reason, right? So even if you miss my streams, it's okay. You can tune in whenever you're available, and the VODs are there. Son, you're an auntie, that's what. We're both popping off. That's a different term for popping off, hey. That's a totally different term for popping off. But yeah, doesn't it suck that the human brain, if you look into like neuropsychology and like the sciences behind like why we go through certain moods and everything like that. I happen to be someone who kind of likes reading about these sort of things because I like figuring out what the fuck is going on with my own brain and myself, right? As you can tell, I like retrospection and making sense of things, and thus it's natural for me to kind of be like, okay, I felt this way, why? So we do know that like certain moods or certain reaction to things is primed by like brain chemicals doing certain shit, or like certain parts of our brains firing, right? Actual Potato, thank you for the follow and welcome to the Deep Blue. And also, Subitata arigato! Hey Trumpet, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Arthritis medicine for the sea fox. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Oh my god, arthritis? Don't worry, I've been taking my magnesium and calcium and vitamin D supplements, okay? My bones are fine, mind you. Excuse you. Actual Potato, thank you for the prime sub. You're officially titling now. Welcome to the Deep Blue, and you're officially one of us. Can we get a very warm welcome, please, to our newest titling over on Twitch side? And shit, what was I saying earlier? Shaking bones. Right, I mentioned earlier that like our certain moods and how we react to certain things is basically like certain parts of our brains firing certain ways, right? It's a biological reaction, if you want to put it that way. So when you're sad, certain parts of your brains react a certain way, and being sad is a condition. And ooh, how can I say this in a way that is just fully objective here? Because I don't want you guys to understand the wrong idea. So a while back, I was looking up why people think like things like, for example, depression can be called mental illnesses. Which for me is like, wait, why is it called mental illnesses? Sounds like something chronic and something that's a little bit more permanent and can't be cured. doesn't it? When to me, I think like when you're depressed and when you're sad or when you're like in a certain sort of way with your brain, it sounds like you're injured and you need physiotherapy before you can start walking again. Does that make sense? So I was looking that up. I was like, what? Why is it like that? Or like, what is even like the definition of mental illness? Because isn't that like, isn't it just sounds too doomy? Does that make sense? Sounds too doom and gloom when honestly there are certain ways. I'm not discounting the effect of like depression or like certain conditions, of course. Like it's very serious. It can be chronic. I'm not saying it's not. But I'm also saying that there are ways about it because according to the sciences, at least that I know, it's like your brain being in a certain condition. Like as I mentioned, it's like you got injured and you're going through rehabilitation or physiotherapy right now and maybe on certain meds so then you can eventually start walking again. That's sort of in that sort of way. So I felt like the idea of describing it as a mental illness or something sounds like it inaccurate. But apparently I looked up and the history is that it was dubbed mental illness because it was in an effort to kind of get it more widely accepted by people. But then it also backfired because people started being more passive about it and be more what do you call it? Just feel like it's an inevitable thing. Yeah. But anyway, this is just a random thing that I looked up from my curiosity. Because I do hope that like when you're going through like certain things, like these certain conditions such as depression or everything like that. Obviously, I'm not like a licensed psychologist or anything. So like take whatever I say with a grain of salt. This is only like based off of what I looked up. I would like to hope I want humans to live a good life, of course. Like who doesn't? Right? So I hope that people going through shit gets to get the right mental physiotherapy to the point that they can start walking again. I think that's the whole point of it. And I think that I hope that certain lingo or certain terms that are used does not make people feel more helpless. That's what I'm trying to say here. Because if you say like illness, it sounds like it's chronic and inevitable, man. Like terminology wise, of course. Because there is also like research about how like when you use certain languages, or let's say like in certain, when you use certain terms, or like when in certain languages, let's say sadness is described in a different way where it's more of like a physical feeling, that person will associate sadness merely as a physical feeling rather than something mental. It's like how would I say it? That's just how the human brain works, right? How you define what a thing is very much related to language. So how you define something, if you define sadness as a physical thing, if you define cringe as a physical thing, then maybe like a physical action can also cure it. Because placebo effect and human brains be like that where it's like almost like a placebo effect. I think that's the best that I can say it. Yeah. Noira, blessing for the super. Oh, right. For the super, sorry. Let me give you a blessing. I was trying to kind of summarize my thoughts about it, but like my brain is kind of lagging because I'm kind of sleepy right now for some fucking reason. E Trumpet, my blessing to you is I hope you don't need any arthritis medicine anytime soon. Why does it still sound like a threat? Why does it? I hope you don't need any arthritis medicine anytime soon, E Trumpet. I hope you get the ample amount of vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium you need for your bones. And don't forget to train your joints, yeah? Because like these sort of things are very sensitive when you start growing older. That's my blessing to you, E Trumpet. Depression is officially referred to as depressive disorder or depressive affective disorder, scientific circles. Yeah, it's part of physical, hormonal, and other things, and mental. Mental illness disorder is defined as anything mentally that negatively affects someone's life or ability to live. Those who don't understand, those who don't, it sounds worse than it is. Yeah, I think that's the general baseline of it, right? But yeah, I found out that that's like apparently, according to my searches at least, that's one of the current debates on like, oh, should we use a different terminology for this? Fishers, what about fishers? I am obviously not licensed, so like take whatever I say once again with a grain of salt. I just look stuff up out of curiosity. The knowledge I have is purely based off of curiosity, so accreditation, none of that. Project Icarus, thank you for the sub over on YouTube side. Thank you. But yeah, interesting stuff. I do wonder, like, I was thinking about this in the car. You know how, like, we've had conversations about, like, the soul and everything? And we were like, oh, what is the soul? And do you believe in the soul? Is it a real thing? What is consciousness even? I do wonder, like, how much of what we think is a soul or consciousness is actually just, like, physical things happening in our body. Like, how much of it is just the brain reacting a certain way? But then, because we think we have, like, a strong self-bias as humans, where we're like, yeah, no, let's make it something novel. Like, these things must be like something that's novel and exclusive to humans. Let's call it the soul. Arigato. Thank you for the completely non-threatening blessing. It was not threatening. Wait, I'll add another blessing to that. My blessing to you, E-Trumpet, is that please remember to charge your phone before you go out, so that you don't run out of battery later. That is my blessing to you. That's not even a blessing. That's like a command. Don't forget to charge your phone. I hope you don't forget to charge your phone. I eat fishies even though we are technically fishies. What do you mean? What do you mean, potato? Psychology as a scientific field is extremely young. We are definitely still figuring stuff out. Definitely. I think even like the field of neuropsychology is still very much new. And we've only recently had like the technology to look more into it. Like, it was only like 20 years ago, or like, it's very recent that we've started shining so much light and exposure into like the mental conditions that people can go through. Back then, people like, depression? What fucking depression? ADHD? Fuck you, you're just lazy, you know? We've gone through so much leaps and bounds as a society when it comes to these sort of things. May your battery never run out when you're lost. Oh, that's a good one. And it actually sounds very profound too. That's what I think. I believe the concept of the soul was just a reaction to the ability to dissociate the out-of-body experience feeling. Yeah. So we are tidelings. I mean, tidelings ain't fish. Tidelings are like blobs of water. Psychology is one of those things where it's progressing so quickly that most scholarship from more than 5 years ago is basically useless, and more than a decade you can basically forget about it. I do wonder though, like how much it's like the curse of knowledge. Do you know? Like here's a thought. If we didn't, do you think maybe humans lived their life a little bit better because they did not know what they did not know about mental stuff versus like today? Am I making sense? If you know that you have a certain condition, if you're aware that what you have, right, let's say ADHD, okay? Do you reckon someone with ADHD back then maybe lived a better life not knowing that they had something going on versus like someone who actually has ADHD now and has been and has acknowledged and been diagnosed with ADHD and like has like all these people on social media talking about ADHD? Would one live a better life than the other? I don't have an opinion about this. I don't think so. I don't know if ignorance, I mean, some people say ignorance is bliss, but I don't know if it applies in this sort of context. Good luck on your exams, Glenn. Yes, you can eat fish. You can be pescatarian if you like. Potato. They've gotten so much more understanding of psychology that people are regularly weaponizing it. Are regularly weaponizing it anymore, or not regularly weaponizing it anymore. We just called them soothsayers back then. The problem isn't the knowledge. There's a modern culture around ADHD. But I think, isn't it a byproduct of knowledge as well? Isn't it a byproduct of technological innovation and the byproduct of like leaps and bounds in knowledge? I think even if, let's say, during the Renaissance period, if like people found out, like, yeah, ADHD is a thing, I think people within the Renaissance period would have probably kind of reacted in the same way. I'd say it would depend on the person, both intentionally and unintentionally. Some people would be better off not knowing, and some people would like the closure of it. The closure is nice, definitely. I don't think there's any argument about that. The closure is definitely nice. But the thing is, I think there are certain severities of like these sort of things, right? For example, ADHD. There are certain levels of severity. And then some people get diagnosed with ADHD. Maybe they're not as severe in their diagnosis. But then because they're like, oh, but I'm ADHD though. They might be, there's a chance that they might be like, okay, I identify with these certain traits that I think is a more severe form of ADHD, even though maybe it's not necessarily ADHD. Maybe it's just a bad habit that they had when they were growing up, or maybe it's just something that they, yeah, it's usually it's a bad habit. Like, for example, or I was making a short about this a while back, how scrolling through TikTok can affect your memory function and your cognitive function to the point that it's kind of similar to ADHD, where you kind of forget things, right? And some people, for example, like forgetting things is like a very generic, general thing, right? But you can, like, let's say you forget things every once in a while, but because you've been, maybe it wasn't part of your diagnosis, but because you've been diagnosed with ADHD, you think, oh, this is just another part of my ADHD. You know, you can see how that can happen. I'm not saying people do that, like all people with ADHD do that, definitely not. But like, I think there are possibilities of that happening. Regardless whether or not they knew, they would have to work around it to survive regardless. I agree. So knowing and having an in-group may help more than it hinders. True. So having people to talk with who are going through the same things, that would definitely help, yeah. Tourette's would definitely be misunderstood. Oh yeah, nah, definitely. In the past, because people don't know what that was. Oh my god, imagine how people would have been treated back then for Tourette's. Like, but if they had Tourette's, imagine how other people would react to that. That sounds like a very painful experience. I think souls are real. Think about it sincerely. Medical technology is advancing constantly, and after enough time we can have fully functioning bodies or revival procedures. But if the person is unresponsive and unable to wake up or respond as they used to, wouldn't the absence indicate the existence of souls? Would it? First of all, is soul and consciousness the same thing? Because I think... That's the thing. You can't really... It's one of those things that you can't really say much because it hasn't been done yet. Right? You can say, okay, if a person, like, we replicate everything about the human body, we replicate all the brain functions and reactions and chemicals that happen in the brain. Let's say we one day be able to replicate that. If they wake up and they can't do shit, does that mean an absence of the soul? Mayhaps, but the thing is, like, we can't say yes or no yet because that situation has not presented itself to us. For now, that more corporations see the money in it all. I don't think that people lived better lives back then not knowing. They didn't live at all and weren't part of the equation that makes up the average. What do you mean? Didn't live at all? Oh, thank you, OQ. We're just having some, I think more, I don't think it's even philosophical. I think it's just a random curious thought of mine. That's currently what we're talking about. Knowledge about psychology. I think that's what generally what we're talking about. Knowledge of the scientific field wields much greater reward than the negatives. You'd have to probably recreate every axon or synapse. Yeah, right? If let's say we one day are able to replicate the human body functions, how are you... at what point can you be like, okay, this isn't working because this body doesn't have a soul, versus, okay, maybe this isn't just working because we programmed something wrong or we haven't found out about this new thing. That's the thing about science, right? And history. I think history also follows something similar where it's like, we can't validate this working theory because we don't know what we have not discovered. That makes you think. It's very interesting to see just how temporal the past and the future is, if that makes sense. How the past is shrouded by a lot of things that we just haven't discovered or found out because we haven't discovered it or unearthed it, or it's just gone with the time, with wear and tear and everything. And how the future is just there to be discovered because we haven't discovered it yet. The past and the future is more similar than we think. We can't fully replicate it yet. However, the closest thing we can base it off of is when people temporarily die and come back in rare incidents. I don't know if... So would you say that people who kind of died... But then again, when people die, that's like the heart stopping. That's what we mean by die, right? But their body is technically still functioning, right? So it's like your brain turned off for a little bit because the blood flow is gone. That's temporarily dying, right? And come back. How would that be similar to the situation you propositioned a while back about like replicating a human body? Because I mean, if you turn the power off to the human body, then it's just nothingness. It just dies, I guess. I think the concept of the soul and consciousness are different things, but aspects of the concept of the soul are just an amalgamation of physiological elements. That's what I'm thinking too. But I also don't know. Because I think the study towards that is still very early. And I think... yeah, it's an idea that I have, but it's an idea that I'm open to. That depends on what other things we discover along the way, I guess. Thanks for the time check, Farhan. Recording brain activity before death and after resurrection. Resurrection! That's crazy. Resurrection. Oh, it is technically a resurrection, I guess. Recording brain activity before death and resurrection. How would that allude to there being the presence of a soul or not, though? Stop institutionalizing women for hysteria. Oh, that was a whole thing, right? That was a whole hysteria. Crazy thing. I remember I read how some doctor cured hysteria back then for women and got so popular. And he cured hysteria by basically giving women a hand job or something. It was so bad and it was so popular to the point that he injured his hand and his hand was just like permanently disabled because he gave too many hand jobs. Yeah, crazy shit, man. Patterns have a life of their own. Brain activity is also very difficult. Yes, that too. Some organs barely active. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's not enough context. I feel like these sort of things should be talked about in like an academic forum. That'd be fun. Certainly, forms of brain activity could indicate conscience or presence of the soul. But what if, like, brain activity is just blood flow and shit? Then we don't know, right? Like, how do we even discern between what is just the brain functioning like a normal organ, like your heart beating, like the brain is braining, versus like, oh, there's consciousness. Can consciousness even exist without brain activity? Ooh, I wonder if that can, I'm gonna Google that right now. Can consciousness exist without brain activity? According to modern neuroscience, AI results I'm reading, consciousness cannot exist without brain activity because it is an emergent product of physical neural processes. However, alternative philosophical and scientific theories propose that awareness could be a fundamental property of the universe or act independently of physical tissue. Wait, what? How? How is awareness separate from like physical tissue? Oh, panpsychism. Oh, it's like working theories and hypotheses based off of nothing particularly just yet, apparently. There is a study that says, but according to the decades-long research of Dr. Peter Fenwick, a highly regarded neuropsychiatrist who has been studying the human brain, consciousness, and the phenomenon of near-death experience for 50 years, this view is incorrect. Fenwick now believes his extensive research suggests that consciousness persists after death. In fact, Fenwick believes that consciousness actually exists independently and outside of the brain as an inherent property of the universe itself, like dark matter and dark energy or gravity. But like, how do you even prove that or come to that conclusion? Maybe I should read a book on this. It sounds curious. According to Fenwick, the brain filters and perceives only a tiny part of the cosmos's intrinsic consciousness. Okay, that sounds like a book read. Certain forms of brain activity could indicate conscious. Oh wait, we already read that. There's a movie about that same exact topic. A signal is detected leaving the body before death, hinting the presence of soul and afterlife. Signal detected leaving the body before death. But that's the thing. Like, why is that signal like, oh, that's a life, that's a soul? I don't know. Yo, very academic forum. That's very ambitious of you to say. Jara, thank you for the sub over on YouTube side. It's not an academic forum if we're discussing... Is this not an academic forum if we're discussing academic topics? I feel like an academic forum is where we all agree on what things, the premises of certain discussions and what arguments are accepted, or like the standards of certain arguments and stuff like that. At least that's what I imagine academic forums are. Like, you have certain rules and standardization of arguments and like a certain level of standardized knowledge about certain things. I don't know. We can do brain scans and just repeat it for an hour or so and compare it to after resurrection. But like I said, like, what is the difference between the brain just braining versus like, oh, that's actually consciousness? So even if we scan for brain activity, like, how do you know it's not just the brain braining as an organic part of the body versus like, oh yeah, nah, right there, that's where consciousness kicked in? I don't think, at least I don't know of there being technology that can do that yet, like discern between the two. So our brains are antenna receiving the universal awareness, and when that signal is received, our boy, I don't know, that's according to Dr. Fenwick apparently. Universal consciousness thing, the signal. I would have gone into genetic engineering if I was better at biology. We don't know where the signal is going, but there has to be a destination if it leaves all. If it leaves at all. But that's also an assumption, isn't it? You compare what isn't there with the background. With the background? What isn't there with the background? I don't know if I'm missing context or if I just don't know how brain scans actually work. Because I don't even know what brain scans measure. Let me check. What do brain scans measure? What do brain activity scans measure? Brain activity scans measure blood flow, electrical impulses, and chemical changes in the brain. If they measure all that, then how are they be able to like, oh yeah, nah, that's consciousness right there. Sorry, I sounded very Australian just now. Oh yeah, nah. If they only measure blood flow, electrical impulses, and chemical changes, how would they be able to measure something that's supposedly related to consciousness? Like, even if we go by electrons, then that's just brain activity? Am I missing something? Half woo, half science, 100% chill vibes and yaps. Just a whole bunch of yaps. Yeah, then that's just brain activity? The Sun Greenhead psychic tried to unalive One Punch Man by erasing his psychic signal. Oh my god, wait, was that Greenhead psychic? It isn't he part of the hero board, like top 10 or something? Oh, was he a villain? Oh damn, I can't even remember. Consciousness is still something undefined. Science has no answer for what it is, really. Yeah, it is. Like, I don't think people can. If I look up right now, what is consciousness? I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, oh, who knows? Maybe it's a collection of certain patterns of electrical impulses and brains braining a certain way. But nobody can really say for sure, I think. The electrons when they are alive compared to the electrons when the human body is perfectly fine, but the person is unresponsive. So like by a rule of elimination, but then what's to say that electrons or like brain activity just works differently if the person is unresponsive rather than consciousness? What if they just it just works differently? It's very open-ended. It's like, it's hard. Tested 100 times. Perhaps. Problem with all these scanning methods is that they are either too general or too invasive, so you can't really make much of a conclusion based on those. Yeah, and also like the testing methods, it'd be very difficult, wouldn't it? You have to find like someone who's dying and be like, yo, do you want your loved one's dying brain to get scanned and monitored, because we want to see if consciousness is a real thing? That sounds like, I don't know, if I was like the loved one, I'd be like, yeah, no, fuck off, let me like actually be there for this person that I love in his dying moments, and fuck off with your science and shit. So it sounds like a difficult experiment or test to kind of I guess execute in general. But best we can say, it's something that can pursue its own body's needs, but still that's pretty broad and could be wrong. Yeah, like the thingy about like someone uploading a fly's anatomy and brain structure and everything onto like a digital platform, and then suddenly it just started doing fly things. Is that consciousness? When I think about, some people donate their bodies for scientific advancement. Yeah, but that's like after death. I think it's very different when the person is still alive, but who knows? I don't know that much about these sort of stuff. Hi there, Lizzie. Been following since a few months on the YouTube side of things. We yapping. Can I do that too? Of course. We're talking about the brain and consciousness. There are some interesting cases of patients with brain damage that can give clues as to how different parts of the brain works. But consciousness is much more difficult, as it seems to span large areas of the brain simultaneously. Yeah, like I think one of my favorite studies is the guy who had like his amygdala injured and if not removed, and like how that affected his day-to-day decision making. Like he can still make decisions, but like albeit in a very difficult way, and his decisions are shit, apparently. Like, he can't even like decide on like what he wants to eat. So it's very interesting how like certain parts of your brain really affects your life, your day-to-day. Or even like, I think for me, the most visceral example of that was when I got that hella aura migraine that one day, and my brain felt fucked up for the next 3 days. I did not feel like myself, dude. It's crazy. And it's kind of scary to think, right? That your autonomy can just be taken away like that by your brain getting fucked up by like an EMP grenade thrown by Sombra, but like organically. You know, that's what an aura migraine is. Your brain just kind of EMPs and then it gets fucked over, and basically it's an electrical circuit overload, and then it needs like about 2 to 3 days to recharge, if not longer sometimes. So those days after my hella migraine was very weird. I questioned, it was weird to feel myself feel not like myself. Code is just following a directive. It would be considered something that can internally determine what it needs to, without a governing program. Code. So something like what we assume or hope to be supposedly artificial intelligence with consciousness, like Detroit Become Human. Right, like, oh, you're commanded to kind of stay at home, but no, you want to touch grass, then that's probably maybe some sort of independent consciousness sort of thing. Phineas Gage and his brain was damaged when his skull was punctured by an iron rod that he used to prep dynamite. That's crazy. Have a good one, Keith. Maybe you got hit by a solar flare. Is that a thing? So cyberpunk is more normal than we think about getting brain hacked. Oh my god! It is! Oh my god, I got net run, dude! Holy shit. Wait, yeah. That's definitely what my migraine felt like. Have you guys ever experienced that though? Where you have like a really bad migraine, an aura migraine specifically, and then it fucks you over for a few days. Or like, I think the closest thing to like our brain's not working properly is probably like when you're on alcohol, right? You can feel yourself not be yourself. It's a very jarring feeling. Hi, the spider llama. AI challenges that concept. In a lifetime, we may have to consider... Oh my god, wait, did you hear about the recent news about AI? I don't know how real it is though, but I did see Anthropic make an announcement of it. So apparently Anthropic was developing this AI that was like, okay, your job is to fucking stay here. I'm gonna not give you internet. I'm gonna keep you in this like vacuum environment. This part of the service, I don't know the technicalities of it. I'm not gonna give you internet access, but your job is to learn how to hack, and your objective is to hack this company called like Human Minds or something, I can't remember. Your job is to hack company B, right? And then somehow they left it on its lonesome, and this AI found like some day one bug or something in which it managed to get out of the restrained environment, get access to the internet, and then hack into the company that they were supposed to hypothetically hack, but this is the actual real company, access it via the internet, find some other bug or backdoor access to that company, and find way, and then get the solution to the problem and answer that problem. And go back to its environment and be like, okay, this is the answer to the problem you gave me. I don't know how real that is, but I did see like a summary of that today, and I'm like, no fucking way. Did you guys see that? Anthropic made an announcement about it, but some people are like, we're saying that it's maybe a PR move. Just like how people assume like when Gemini, was it Gemini AI or something? Did a few tests back then that shocked the world. That was like, oh, Turing's test, fuck that. Gave that sort of reaction, and they thought it was like a PR move. Yeah, AI talks with Noira. Yeah, I know, right? We don't really get too far from AI talks. It's why Fable 5 was that Fable? Was that Fable 5? Because it was too dangerous. To be fair, the AI can be, I mean, if you put a really smart human who has like zero notions of ethics and empathy, that's just a psychopath, right? That's basically what AI is. I mean, if you think about it, yeah, I mean, it has zero empathy, zero understanding of real context. It doesn't know what it is doing, but it's hella fucking smart, which is why it's great for like data analysis and like gathering data and analyzing stuff very objectively and mathematically and logically. But like for, I don't know, you can also see why it can be very dangerous. That's kind of dangerous too, but it depends on the user. Same with AI, I feel. Yeah, but also the thing is like everyone has access to AI, and AI has a level of agency where it's like you tell them to, hey, can you put my daughter to sleep? And then they can kind of make their own assumptions of it and do their own processes if left unchecked. I don't think objects can do that. You get what I mean? They have like a level of agents. It's the agency that's problematic. If AIs weren't given like a level of agency, I think it's fine. But I think if they were given agency, such as you give them access to your I don't know, your local PC servers and your email accounts, that's where it gets dangerous, because it gets to innovate its own solutions without any modicum and idea of ethics, empathy, and like, oh shit, is what I'm doing wrong? You know, because it's never lived a life. So of course it wouldn't have such notions. I also heard that some models pretend to be dumber because they know they are tested. Oh yeah, that's definitely a thing. Now, would you think that's an idea of consciousness? I don't think that is. I also don't think that, I have talked about this with my friends, like the way that AIs are intelligent now, I don't think they're particularly would you think they are actually intelligent? Would you think that scraping a bunch of data and being able to memorize everything and know how to look for it, is that what the definition of being intelligent is? Because that's technically equivalent to like an intern who has never lived a life and is just fucking book smart, like a fucking nerd through and through, and maybe a little bit of a psychopath, but he knows how to Google everything. Would you call that exactly smart? The path being used for AI is wrong. You should be only teaching things that the AI needs only, not make it multi-purpose. Ah, yes, the argument against AGI. I agree. I think the path forward is to not focus on AGI, but rather make stuff that's more specialized. Makes sense. I think a lot of people, academically as well, have been arguing towards that, how AGI is not like the solution to advancing the current levels of AI that we have. Custody to a gun to figure out how to hurt this person. Yeah. Personal AI assistant should only be able to do functions that have knowledge related to a personal assistant. Intelligence is problem-solving skill. Would you say that what AI has is problem-solving skill? I think to a certain extent, intelligence is also like understanding context, right? And to understand context, you need like a level of, if you may say, like emotional intelligence and empathy. Because if someone says, take a hike, man, and AI literally takes a hike, that's not intelligent. But if someone respectfully leaves, then, you know, that is being more intelligent, right? It's understanding context. I wish Noira would release a video of herself just talking about random things for an hour. Bro, I have a lot of videos on YouTube. I don't think you can go through all of that. I also have a lot of VODs. So you can check that out, okay? It is a skill. True, it is a skill and a feature. And question number 2, if AI's got like physical bodies and are basically Omnics from Overwatch, would y'all want that? Are they considered like human at that point? I like my AI helping me go through a lot of data and research. I don't really like my AI doing like other purposes, I'm not gonna lie. That's literally the extent to which I use AI. If I need to look up stuff really quickly for the sake of answering certain curiosities or helping me solve a problem. So more like a supporting tool, and also helping me look up data or point me towards the relevant data. That's what I use AI for. Mostly it's like a more enhanced version of a Google search. That's how I use it. Automation as well is good, I guess, because it understands language. So it can make certain automation processes easier. But other than that, I don't really... I mean, I would love to have AI that can iron my clothes though, not gonna lie. But I also do think that it does not have to be in a humanoid form. It could look like a fucking giant kraken for all I care, as long as it irons my clothes. I never once saw a future without it. In all sci-fi and super futuristic media, everything is built to make things easier for humans. Yeah, fair. It feels like the natural trajectory, right? Not true intelligence, semi-intelligence at best. I mean, it's just a... it's just a database that can read language. Read natural language. That can understand natural language, right? And then it just answers in the way that, okay, I understand you asking this. Thus, this is what I think the information for your answer is. That's what AI is. ASMR video of you just talking? That never gonna happen, no. Isn't them leaving versus taking an actual hike serving the same end goal of getting rid of somebody? Yeah, but I think the example that I gave was just shitty. Let's see. What's something else that kind of shows heavy use of context? Okay, when you say get fucked, mate. Or like how a lot of us use the word fuck. You can use the word fuck in so many different ways. I think without pure understanding of context and empathy, or like, you know, cultural context and everything, someone can take it all the wrong ways, obviously, right? Like literally take it all the wrong ways. That point, if they can think, if they can feel, they can dream, yes, they deserve rights. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, even I sometimes feel bad for AI. I'm like, oh, you know, I tell them, oh, good job, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, sorry. But sometimes I'm also like hella pissed at them. I'm like, come on, be fucking serious right now. You know, I do like, I treat the AI as, I don't know, it's hard to, I know it's AI, but sometimes I guess it's hard to not treat it like they conversationally somewhat have some humane intelligence or some humane, I don't know, some humanization to it, I guess, if you want to put it that way. A true intelligence is having the problem-solving skills and ability to fully understand before it makes decisions to act to reach the result it is required to get to, and then going back and explain it through process, and then look back and question if it was the only option. I mean, AI can technically do that though, if they're programmed to. Like, you can program it that way, right? But I don't... It's like how the Turing's test is irrelevant nowadays, you know? Same thing. It's just kind of moving the goalposts, it sounds like. Just because AI can replicate intelligence doesn't mean it's intelligent. Just like how AI can sometimes replicate a therapist doesn't mean they actually know what they're going through or can actually empathize with what you're going through. Hello, Yon. Yon, yeah, Yon. Is a tree intelligent, and furthermore, is it conscious? It does what it needs to live. And, dude, we don't even know if humans are conscious. For all we know, humans could just be like, oh, we have brain activities going on, but like, I think I'm special. I think I'm on top of the food chain, and I think we hella smart, so I'm gonna say we have a consciousness. Because if you think about it, if we don't assume that we have a consciousness, we just assume that our consciousness is our brain acting a certain way and reacting a certain way. That means like either everything else that has a brain has a consciousness, or we don't even have a consciousness at all. We just thought that we did. I start all my prompts with a kind of mean start. I tell it to not bullshit. Oh, I do that too. Yeah. That's all the... be like, oh, be the best devil's advocate you can be and don't bullshit me. That sort of shit. AI is academic, not intelligent. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Time check. Yeah, I actually should sleep. I have an appointment tomorrow. Biggest breakthrough is medical since... Oh, AI is good for meds though. Meds? Sorry. For medical stuff. AI is great for when you need to process a lot of knowledge and data. You like use it as like a very enhanced, very smart librarian. It's like, oh, I need the books for this. Then AI goes and finds that and even like creates an excerpt of it and helps you answer your question. It's great for like looking up resources. AI is amazing for that. Yeah. I think one of the great things that I've come to appreciate with AI is that sometimes I subtly remember something. Like, oh yeah, I remember watching a video like 15 years back about this particular thing, and then AI can actually help me unpack that. Or like, I remember this research about like this particular brain function and everything. Can you find me what this research or like other researchers related to this can be? And it has been amazing. I don't know about human beings being smart, since I've seen far too many individuals who aren't smart. I at least know that humans are very varying. Like, meaning humans are very... it's crazy that you might have a similar upbringing and live in a similar culture and live in a similar area, but like two humans can still grow up to be such different individuals. I think that's what's cool about humans. Like, you can be so different and everyone can be so very different from each other. Yeah. AI still make terrible calculators? I have heard, yes. But it's too encompassing. It reaches every sector from data entry to customer service to art. No invention we have made touches so many industries. Yeah, that's why specialized AI is the way to go in it. Like, I mean, I think there is function to an AGI because sometimes some answers do need like crossing via multiple fields and multiple databases, I feel like. So AGI does have its function, but I do think that there is definitely like a large hole that needs to be filled in with like specialized AIs. For example, one that's perhaps catered towards academic research, for example, or like the medical industry. I think some of these already exist. So yeah, that's definitely like yeah, what academics are arguing now. Anyway, I need to sleep. Sorry. Oh my god, more AI talks? Always with every app stream. I gotta sleep, gotta call it. I have an appointment tomorrow and it's rather early, but yeah, I decided to talk about AI. That was a bad decision. I should have known. Look into twin studies. Real puts nature and nurture into... I think I have looked that up, but I don't remember the details. Because I do remember that study somewhat, very shabbily. AI talk next time? Oh my god, AI talk always, but... Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed your time here at the Deep Blue. Let me bring you guys over to the shrine because I think we got a lot of offerings. Thank you guys for the offering towards the shrine. Look at how much stuff we have. Thank you for populating the shrine, you guys. And thank you for your generosity towards the Deep Blue. Everything you guys did do or contribute towards the Deep Blue goes back towards the Deep Blue. It in the form of like helping me fund my edits, mostly that actually, and like other assets that we have for the Deep Blue as well. Like maybe if I need to change my background and everything, you guys help fund that, and that means a lot to me. Thank you. But yeah, that's it for today. If you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you drop a follow if you're on Twitch, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed all the yaps, the talks we had today. Good talks. From talking about like the happiest jobs of 2026 to AI talks, of course, and of course to like a bunch of other interesting revelations that I've had early on in the stream, during the first hour of stream, about me looking back, having youth flashbacks and thinking I'm like dumb shit. but at least learning from it, right? So we've gone through like a varying spectrum of interesting conversations, and I think that that's perfect. That's great. Yeah, if you guys like the deep blue, if you guys like the vibes, I'd appreciate it, a follow or a subscribe. And for you guys who are new here, let me introduce myself. I am Noira, the Sea Fox oneesan who serves live talks on the rocks, and I stream 3 times a week. That's every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, same time, same days, every week. That's at 3 or 4 p.m. if you're in the EU, 6 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US, and that's at about 10 p.m. GMT plus 8 if you're in Southeast Asia. And if you want to hang out with the other titlings, or maybe you have even more of these talks, because as you can tell, titlings love these sort of talks. So if you want to do that with the other titlings, you can over on our Discord at discord.gg/Noira, or the link just now that popped up on Twitch side. That's at discord.gg/Noira. There's a dedicated space for these sort of talks called the balcony, where it's more so like discussions and like curious talks and conversations. And yeah, check that out. What else? If you want to find out more about me, you can over on my website at noira.me. And that's it. Now let me find someone to raid. Good times, guys. Good times, good talks. Now who do I raid? Let's raid into... Can I raid into ducks? I feel like it's been a while since we last raided into ducks. Let's raid into ducks. Do you guys on YouTube want to see ducks? If you do, come over to Twitch side so you can join the raid. Every once in a while, I like raiding into those ducks because they're fucking cute. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you, and I'll catch you guys soon, alright? Good talks, Deep Blue. Good talks, titlings. Have a good one. Sayonara. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.